Hey everybody, we're joined by Bandits catcher Ryan Battaglia, who homered in last night's round 5 opener against the Perth Heat. Ryan, we're in the middle of a stretch here where you know you are going to be catching this pitching staff every single day. How much does it help you to wake up in the morning knowing that you're going to be in the lineup?
Oh, it's good, wake up happy knowing I'm going to play. It helps you can kind of get into a bit of rhythm, seeing, getting at bats every day and seeing good pitching. I'm just really excited to get the opportunity.
You've been batting in the bottom third of the order for most of the season. Last night in the 9-spot, a 2-hit game with a home run. I think you've got to be one of the most productive 9-hole hitters in the league when you are in that position. What's your mindset as you take that second leadoff position trying to set up the guys at the top of the order?
Just try and do whatever I need to do, to help the team. Obviously all the different situations, whenever I get up there, just see what is ahead of me and do my best.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We're joined by Bandits manager David Nielsen before Game 2 of Round 5 against the Perth Heat. David, a tough loss in Game 1, almost a comeback victory, but you came up just short. What were your main takeaways from that game?
Well, we did some things good. We battled. They threw some pretty good arms at us. We were a little bit sluggish defensively, I thought, but the guys will bounce back. Overall, we did some things good that we'll take away.
Happy birthday. How many is it for you, and what do birthdays mean to you at this point in your life?
Yeah, 49 years old. I still feel young, but I think it's just about having the family around and just a reminder of your friends. You get a lot of messages from people you haven't thought of for a while, so that's the main takeaway.
Hope your birthday gift is a winner tonight against the Heat.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus, where the Perth Heat are in town to take on the Brisbane Bandits in Game 2 of Round 5 in Brisbane. With Travis Blackley, I'm Eric Bramer. Thank you for joining us on a cloudy and overcast, but so far dry evening in Brisbane. Travis, you started last night's ball game. The Bandits lost by a score of 9-5, and we saw firsthand how good this Perth Heat offense and pitching staff can be. It was a game that the Bandits could have won. They didn't, but if they're looking for a blueprint in terms of how to come back in this series, you only have to look at their last homestand against the Sydney Blue Sox. Lost a tough Game 1, and then they came back to win the next 3.
Yeah, that's the thing about playing here in Holloway. Anything can happen. Last night we were on the wrong end of it, and, we're looking to bounce back today. I know Atho's pumped for the game, and, I really think our hitters are going to do some work tonight. That wind is really strong tonight, so it's definitely going to be hard to keep it in the ballpark, but, we're used to it. We're used to pitching in these conditions, and, they're not. So hopefully the wind can get in the minds of their pitchers when they see a few fly over early in the game.
Good pitching matchup again tonight. Tim Atherton against Connor Lowry, 2 pitchers with ERAs in the low 2s. Atherton, 27 years old, brushing off the rubber, preparing for start number 5 in his 7th ABL season. 2-0 with a 2.45 ERA is the righty. In 22 innings, he has struck out 24 batters. Last time out, he didn't have his best stuff against the Cavalry in Canberra. In fact, he allowed 9 hits in 5 innings, but only 3 runs, and that's a testament to his veteran mindset, his ability to get out of jams.
Yeah, it is. I think everyone in Australia that knows Tim knows how much of a big game pitcher he is, and how he likes to, when his back's against the wall, he really digs in and fights with everything he's got to stop the team from scoring. So, I think that if he's in that position again tonight, he'll do the same.
A look at the defense around Atherton. Nielsen, Campbell, Unroe, left to right across the outfield. Hung at third, Shuji Hung at third, TJ Bennett at short, Wade Dutton at second, David Sutherland at first, and Ryan Battaglia once again calling the game behind home plate. Battaglia getting his 2nd consecutive start as the catcher, coming off of a really nice offensive night in the ball game on Thursday. We heard from him in the pregame show. And the weather conditions are again tonight about what they were last night, with a little higher chance of rain. 26 degrees Celsius with wind at 31 kilometers per hour from the north-northeast. As usual, blowing out to right center field here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Tim Kennelly leads it off for the Heat. Right-handed hitting right fielder. Had a disruptive game at the top of the order last night. 1 hit, a double. Pair of walks and a pair of strikeouts. You didn't think that was a double?
Not at all. In and out of the glove. It's I'm pretty surprised, actually.
Kennelly tanks low, ball 1 from Atherton. Ball called by Paul Letta behind home plate. He's flanked on the umpiring crew by James Shields at first and Tom West at third. Ball 2 misses low.
Yeah, look for Tim to be like this. The first at bat, I mean, you never know with Tim. He's got the potential to go deep. He's probably Australia's best hitter, Australian-born right now. He's very tough out, and he likes to work the count, get a pitch he can handle.
Batting average at .381, 3 homers, 11 runs batted in, and 3 straight balls beginning the outing for Tim Atherton. Kennelly followed by Tristan Gray, Pete Kozma, Chris Betts, Robbie Glendinning, Carl Chester, Alex Hall, Jake Bowie, and Jess Williams in Andy Kyle's Perth lineup. 3-0 called strike, and it's 3-1. Travis, you've joined us now a couple times on the broadcast. Always interesting to get the perspective of not just a current player, but someone who saw this exact same starting lineup the night before. Some slight changes for Andy Kyle, but by and large, it's the same starting 9. 3-1 misses high, and a 5-pitch walk begins the ball game. Kennelly, again, starts the game with a free pass, something that happened last night.
Yeah, he's a dangerous hitter, in this ballpark. You're almost safer walking him in sometimes, in a 3-1 count, and he's looking for that pitch to hit, He can leave the yard anywhere in the ballpark, and we never want to start the game off with a walk, but, that's it's better than being down 1-0.
Heat scored 2 runs in the first inning last night, and the Bandits never led. They did, however, tie the ball game up with a run in the bottom of the 8th. That made the score 5-5 before Perth scored 4 in the top of the 9th on a pair of 2-run home runs. First pitch swinging is Tristan Gray after the walk, and a fly ball into shallow center is caught by Campbell for the first out. Usually early in the ball game, you see someone very patient at the plate to begin with, and especially patient after seeing the batter in front of them walk, but Gray saw something he liked and went after the first offering. Yeah,
and that's I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm surprised that the Perth boys didn't get a bit of a scouting report on Atho's fastball. We've talked about it before. It's got a high spin rate, and he really gets on the hitters quick. And so for him to go swinging at that first pitch, as you saw, it beat him right there. It got on him quicker than he thought, and he jammed it up in the air.
Here's former major leaguer Pete Kozma. Kozma had hits his first 4 trips to the plate last night, finished 4 for 5, and he takes a called strike. Kozma brings the batting average up to .282. He has 3 homers, 12 runs batted in on the ABL season.
Had a bit of a chuckle with him before the game, actually, about last night. He seemed to find 3 base hits off me without hitting the barrel one time.
You ever face him in the majors?
No, never crossed paths, but every time he got on first last night and on second, I remember I was looking back and he just had this little smile on his face like, yeah, that was a good pitch, but I snuck one out there. But that's the battle, that's how it goes. Sometimes a guy can hit 3 balls on the nose and get out 3 times, and other times they miss hit 3 and get 3 hits. So, it all evens out in the end. 3
singles and a double down the left field line for Kozma last night. 0-1, a called strike, and it's 0-2. Atherton's fastball sits between 89 and 93 typically. Analytics folks will tell you that he has a great spin rate on the fastball, enabling him to go up in the zone and get fastball movement, generating swings and misses.
Yeah, it's definitely his weapon, his best pitch. And, if he can mix in the off-speed like he did last week against Canberra with that good fastball, Perth could have their hands full.
There's a called strike 3, and Kozma goes down looking for the second out. Another Skyfleet Hino strikeout, first of the game and first of the night for Atherton.
Yeah, it was just a good pitch. 0-2. I'm sure he's looking to see something off speed, and he just planed one out at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. I mean, most pitchers right there are probably going to snap something off, and he was expecting that to break, and it just caught him by surprise. It's good to know that moving forward, though, that he's guessing on that.
Chris Betts steps in, left-handed hitting DH. 1 for 5 last night with an RBI. And a check of Kennelly at first. Atherton, or someone on the Bandits side, may have seen what I saw up here on the called strike 3 to Kozma. Kennelly took a hard step towards second, but didn't like his timing and stayed put.
Yeah, he's a smart player all around, Tim. I mean, he hasn't played in pro ball in the States for a few years, but he is as good as he's ever been.
Called strike begins the at-bat, and after some early command issues, Atherton seems locked in. Decent crowd on hand, continuing to fill in. We'll give you weather updates as necessary tonight. We played last night's round 5 opener unobstructed. Doubleheader is scheduled for tomorrow with first pitches at 2:30 and 6. Another check of Kennelly. Atherton deliberate as he peers over his shoulder at Kennelly. 0-1, a swing and a miss. There's the elevated fastball.
Yep.
And Atherton is ahead 0-2.
It's just so hard for them to catch up to it. When he's got a good fastball, he is tough to hit. And as he continues to get swing and misses and getting ahead in the count, his confidence grows and it gets even better.
The 0-2 pitch. On the inside corner, called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the first inning for Tim Atherton, and he puts up a 0 to start his night. Skyfleet Hino sends us into break. Bandits coming to bat after this.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
There's a look at the Outlaws cam at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits coming to bat against Connor Lowry, 25-year-old out of Western Australia, who has a tremendous start to his season under his belt. 3-1 on the year, and here's the defense behind him. Williams, Chester, and Kennelly in the outfield. Glendinning, Gray, Cosma, and Bowie at the infield. Hall behind the plate. Big difference, Cosma and Gray flip-flopping. Pete was at short, and Tristan was at second last night. Now it's the other way around. Connor Lowry, 3-1 on the year, a 2.18 ERA. He struck out 26 batters and allowed only 11 hits in 20 2/3 innings pitched. That comes out to a 151 opponent's batting average. David Nielsen's Bandits have a different look to the lineup at the top. Riley Unroe, switch-hitting right fielder, starts things off. Ball one misses high. Unroe followed by Bennett, Campbell, Lutz, Dutton, Shue, Sutherland, Nielsen, and Battaglia. Unroe batting .250 on the year. Joined the team in round 3, and he's early on the 1-0 offering, sending it foul.
Yeah, I think Riley's going to like this. You know, going back to the leadoff position, that's where he played with this the whole time. Back in his first year with the Bandits, and it's just a comfortable position for him to play in. You know, he likes to work the count. It suits him a lot, so I think he'll try and turn it on now.
1-1 a called strike, and it's 1-2. Unroe also moves defensively from second base to right field. Got his first right field innings in Canberra in round 4, and impressed out there, both with his range and his routes.
Yeah, Riley's a handy player, man. He can play pretty much anywhere you put him. He's got a good knowledge of the game.
Missing wide, it's 2-2.
And, you know, I mean, you could probably, besides pitching and catching, you could probably put him anywhere and feel pretty safe about it.
Lowry comes set. The bespectacled righty delivers the 2-2. Driven to right field and hit well, but hanging up in the air for Kennelly, who makes a thigh-high catch for the first out. A little bit of topspin on that instead of the backspin. They could have propelled that out of the ballpark.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he gets that with backspin, there's no doubt that's getting over the fence. I mean, he just tad out in front of that ball, gave it a bit of top spin, and not an easy catch out there when you get those. Not that I would know a whole lot about that being a pitcher, but I know just in batting practice when you're shagging out there, you get a ball like that hit at you, it's never fun. Seems to get on you quick.
Tricky time of night, too, with no sun cover, some clouds, and the lights on. TJ Bennett stands in. Bennett, the shortstop, sends the first pitch back to the screen, 0-1. Bennett batted third last night, batting second tonight. .254 batting average on the year with 4 homers and 15 runs batted in. Bennett has filled in admirably at shortstop in place of Logan Wade, perennial star for the Bandits, who injured his shoulder just before the season started. And Wade is back on the active roster for the first time this year. Had a chance to talk to him pregame yesterday. Talked to him and manager David Nielsen. Sounds like the plan is to work him in slowly but surely, make sure that he can get his feet on the ground before he is asked to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, last thing we want to do is lose him for the rest of the year, you know, and I think that it doesn't really matter how you play at the moment. As long as we get in the playoffs and we're at full strength going into those playoffs, we'll feel comfortable no matter what our standings are at the time, our record or anything like that. So it'd be good to have him back, good to have that switch hitter in there, and obviously at shortstop, you know, he's great.
Speaking of the standings, Bandits with their loss last night fell to 10-6 and fell into a tie for first place with Sydney in the Northeast Division. With their win last night, Perth moved into sole possession of first in the Southwest, improving to 12-5. That's a half game better than Melbourne. Weather issues all across the league tonight, but we will keep you updated on the scoreboard as the night progresses. 2-2, another foul, and Bennett seems to be right on these Lowry pitches, just hasn't squared one up yet.
Yeah, he's been getting a couple of breaking balls up in the zone to hit right there, and I think he'll be mad at that one. That one seemed to sit up nicely, but he put a great swing on it, and you keep getting those ones. I'm sure he'll take care of one of them sooner or later.
Here's the 2-2. Again. Bennett sends it high in the air, shallow right center field. Chester lost it, now finds it and makes the catch for the second out. You split the difference between the elevation of that Bennett drive and the velocity off the bat of Unrose, you may have a couple extra base hits.
Yes. That's it, though. First time through the lineup, you know, they're trying to feel him out, you know, and he's trying to just get his stuff going and working ahead. So that's the all-time, you know, battle between pitcher and hitter right now when you're starting the game.
Andrew Campbell dropped down to the 3 spot. Left-handed hitting center fielder. Has been among the more consistent bats in the Bandits lineup this season. 1-0 the count. Campbell batting .258 with 3 homers, 12 knocked in. Called strike, and it's 1-1. Campbell 0 for 4 with a walk in last night's ball game. Trying to extend the inning for yet another left-handed batter, Donald Lutz, who waits on deck. Lowry set, the 1-1. Missing inside, 2-1. Connor Lowry, an interesting story. Mentioned he's an Australian native. Played college ball in the United States between Dakota County Technical College in Rosemount, Minnesota, just east of 35 near Apple Valley, and then High Point University in North Carolina. Called strike, and it's 2-2. Second year in the ABL for Lowry. He was with the Heat back in the 16-17 season. But this past year, he was actually playing professional baseball in France Not traditionally a hotbed of baseball, but Europe is increasingly on the map as they develop players. Campbell swings and misses, and it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Connor Lowry. Both of these strong starting pitchers trade zeros in the first, and we go to the second scoreless in Brisbane. You're watching Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Thanks for joining us tonight at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus in Brisbane, where the Bandits and the Heat are scoreless going to the top of the second. Travis Blackley and Eric Bramer with you as Tim Atherton gets warmed up again. Atherton and Lowry both breezed through their first innings. Atherton walked the first batter he faced, but then struck out two. And it was just as easy for Lowry, getting a pair of outfield flies and a swinging strikeout. Festive mood tonight with some Christmas music playing pregame. Buster the Bandit dressed as Santa Claus, and seeing as this is the final Bandits.tv broadcast before the holiday season, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Hope it's filled with joy and love and all that good stuff. Bandits will be on the road the next 2 weeks, taking on the Aces in Melbourne, round 6. And then taking on the Blue Sox in Sydney, round 7, just before the new year. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Heat, beginning with Robbie Glendinning. Glendinning put the nail in the coffin last night, a 2-run homer in the 9th inning. The second 2-run shot for the Heat against Matt Timms, extending a 7-5 lead into a 9-5 lead. That would ultimately be the final score. Glendinning batting .333. That homer last night was his first, and he's driven in 5. Atherton needed just 12 pitches to get through the first. And that will be another thing. Travis, you did a nice job getting through 5 last night, but this bullpen with the injury of Luke Van Meel and a couple other extenuating circumstances has been laboring quite a bit. Going back to the Canberra series, we saw them buckle at the end in Sunday's game. And if they are to play a doubleheader tomorrow, and that's weather permitting, they are going to need some strong pitching all throughout.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of games in a short amount of time. Last week we actually had 4 days to play them, but playing 4 games in 3 days can be taxing on the bullpen. And, especially when you're playing in a field like this where, you can have some big innings. It can really wear on the pen quickly.
Fouled back to the screen, and it count is 2-2.
But they've done a great job. I mean, that last game last week, both teams were kind of taxed, in that last game, and it was just had to grind it out and get through it.
Count is indeed 2-2, according to Paul Latta, the home plate umpire.
Yep.
Our scoreboard had it right. Stadium scoreboard was a pitch-off. We trust our Hailstorm production crew. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 consecutive strikeouts going back to the first inning for Tim Atherton. Another high fastball, another swing and a miss.
And there it is again. When he's feeling it and he's got the command of his fastball, which he didn't have last week, he really had to rely on his other pitches in his repertoire, which is unlike. I hadn't had to see him use them like that last week, and it just shows, that the kind of pitcher he is, and that he'll do whatever it takes to win and not just be stubborn about it and just keep using something that isn't working. So, it's good to see him with a good fastball early, though, that's for sure.
Center fielder Carl Chester stands in, swings at the first pitch and sends it off the screen foul. Chester batting .258, 4 homers, 13 batted in. What was that first offering from Atherton there?
That looked like a cutter first pitch right there.
In on the hands, or rather breaking away from the hands.
Away from me. I had it off the plate away. Started a strike and just kind of went off the plate, and he just caught off the end of the bat foul.
Getting used to your lefty cutter. The 0-1. On the inside corner. That was a pitch that Lowry got in the bottom of the first, and Atherton, I'm sure, was glad to see that reciprocated in the top of the second.
Yeah, that's tough to hit. You get that first one cutting away from you like that outside. You know, I don't want to get beat by that again, and then he barrels one in on you, down and in. That's good pitching.
Atherton from the wind. Breaking pitch left up and hammered through the hole left side. A base hit for Chester, the first hit of the game.
Yeah, it just looked like there. He tried to feel that one, tried to flip it in there. And, was it 0-2 count? I think he'll be kicking himself a little bit. And, I'd rather see him bounce one at the bottom of the zone there and take a ball and then set up the next pitch rather than do that. And as you can see, he's shaking his head in disgust with himself right there. But, I mean, he'll learn from that. Next time he gets in that position, I think he'll make the adjustment.
Switch hitting catcher Alex Hall stands in. Hall homered in last night's ball game as part of a 1-for-4 night, and he's batting .267 on the year. Early attack again, and another foul.
Yep, that one was a cutter in on the hands right there. Again, such a good pitch for Atho. When he's throwing a good fastball and he's got that good, velo at the end of his fastball, when he's doing that and he's got the cutter working, he can be really tough. I would go ahead and say we won't see a whole lot of curveballs after he wasn't happy with that first one. I think we'll see a lot more fastball cutter combinations.
Another foul on a high fastball, and it's 0-2. Our viewers who tuned into last night's broadcast saw Travis pitching, and I think it's safe to say you didn't have the best feel for your breaking pitch last night either, but you did, to your credit, err on the side of bouncing it in the dirt, making sure that they weren't left up like that single off the bat of Chester.
Yeah, it's a pitch that, for me, I need to get strikes with it early in the game, and then I can work from there. I just never quite found that pitch, but luckily I had the cutter working well, and I had the changeup working really well to go with the sinker, and, but anything can happen in this ballpark.
Another 0-2 and another pitch that got a little bit more of the plate than Atherton might have liked. Fouled off down the right field line into the batting cages.
There's another cutter right there. I think he'd safe to say you're not going to get hurt too much with that pitch. It's not a pitch you're going to keep fair very often. But, obviously putting a good swing on it, you'd be able to keep it fair. But, I mean, he was really just defending then.
And Hall early on the swing, and that's how he was able to barrel it up. Another 0-2. Breaking pitch, tapped weakly towards short. Bennett will take it himself, and an on-target throw to first is a 6-3 double play.
Much better curveball there.
This time the 0-2 curveball gets 2 outs and erases the 1-out single. A scoreless second for Tim Atherton and the Bandits as they look to take the lead when we come back.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
You can see the cloudy skies overhead here in Brisbane as the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits take on the Perth Heat. A pair of first-place teams, and there's the radar. Some sloppy stuff coming our way. We are right in the center of the bullseye. And you know this area and this climate a lot better than I do. What are we looking at there?
Oh, you got me, mate. Anything can happen here. It kind of swirls. You know, right there, I mean, it looks like we're still a ways away from seeing any potential rain, but you just never know.
DH Donald Lutz takes up high ball one. Lutz, Dutton, and Shue for the Bandits against Connor Lowry, who breezed through a 1-2-3 first inning. Lutz batting 167 with 2 homers and 6 runs batted in. A coach in the Red system this past American summer. Still a player here in the ABL, and now he's in a hitter's count 2-0.
Yeah, he'll be looking to uncork on something here. This is a pitch where you really need to nail down and throw a pitcher's pitch.
He uncorked and did not make contact.
Yeah, that's where you need to be, though. I think if you're going to get a swing on him for a miss, it's more than likely going to be up and away.
Lutz went deep in each of the last 2 rounds. Signs of life from the veteran bat as he tries to shake off the rust. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, he'll be wanting that one back, I think.
Pull shift on for the left-handed hitting slugger. 3 infielders on the right side. Second baseman Cosma in shallow right field. The 2-2 pitch. And it's to the backstop. Almost got Buster Bandit back there. Count runs full.
Yeah, I think that's what Lutzy brings, you know. Obviously, his resume and what he's done in this league, it has pitchers that haven't faced him a whole lot, kind of trying to overthrow their pitches. And, you know, he'll probably tell you, you know, he's hasn't been swinging the bat all year round, and the best pitch probably to get him out right now is the high heat. He's got a good eye, so he doesn't take a whole lot of strikeouts. So
he's drawn some walks, too.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Not the high heat, but about belt high. And Lutz foul tipped it into the mid of the catcher Hall for the first out of the second inning.
Yeah, high enough. I mean, and also coming off that weird pitch up and away really kind of throws your eyes out, and then you get that one. Kind of got on him a bit quicker, you know. It looked like he tried to throw some kind of slider or change-up, overthrew it up off the back net, and yeah, it's never easy to try and hit after you see one of those.
Second baseman Wade Dutton stands in. He's batting .216 with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Ball misses just outside. Dutton tied the ball game in the 8th inning last night with a sacrifice fly line drive down the line and left. That scored TJ Bennett from third, who had reached on an infield single, taken second on a wild pitch, and advanced to third on a productive out. Oh. There's a called strike, and the first pitch looked better than the second, at least from up here.
Yeah.
For any Perth viewers, our broadcast booth is situated on the third base side of home plate, so we're looking down the first base line. Not exactly a straight-on vantage point at the strike zone, but we do our best. 0-2, hit on the ground right side. Diving attempt by Cosma, but it leads through, and the Bandits have their first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there. You know, he took what he was given. Looked like some kind of off-speed pitch down the way, and he just stayed on it and hit it through the 4-hole there. So good piece of hitting there. He almost actually fielded that. Wouldn't have been surprised either. He's pretty handy over there in the infield. So
here's Shu Ji-hung, 0 for 4 last night. The left-handed hitting Taiwanese third baseman, looking to get the batting average up. .222 on the year, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in. Pitch just misses, 1-0. Shu robbed of a home run in the finale on Sunday in Canberra. Probably should have 2. And he's hit several to the warning track, just getting underneath him. 1-0, popped up left side, out of play.
So I think he wants that one back again too. I mean, that's the thing. He's never faced, Lowry before, and it's never easy when you never face the guy. But yeah, I think he's been pressing a little bit too. I mean, his credentials are pretty good with the bat, and he looked like he was going to be all that and everything else in the practice series we had, and he's just been pressing a bit, I think.
Seeing all these pitchers for the first time, playing in these ballparks for the first time, and living in these cities for the first time as well. That can't be discounted in a foreign country where you don't speak much English.
Yeah, or any in his case. At least Coco, he tries. He has a lot more English to him.
1-2, a check swing, and the appeal, he did not go. That's a close one, but from here it looked like Shu's wrists did not break the plane of the plate. As a pitcher, I'm sure you'd like to get that call, but what did you see from up here?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching on the view that the viewers are looking at, and I mean, it's hard to tell when the umpire's not on the third baseline in this situation. He's out behind the mound. That's a lot harder of a call for him to make.
Pitch misses wide. 3-man crew tonight, as it usually is in the ABL. And with a runner at first, the third base umpire, some people call it the rocking chair. They move from third to second so they get a good angle at any potential play at second base.
But yeah, going back to that, as a pitcher, you want every call you can get.
Count runs full as Shu was swinging for the fences on 3-1.
A lot of the time you get a call you think you should have got, and then a pitch or two later you end up giving up a double or a home run or something, and you're like, man, if only. You really got to try and keep that out of your mind and put it aside and go back to work. Otherwise it can really play mental games with you.
Payoff pitch, lifted foul out of play behind home plate. Another 3-2 coming from Lowry to Shu. Dutton takes off, a check swing, and it's ball 4. Dutton may have had the base stolen anyway, but Shu checks his swing for the second time in the at-bat and trots down to first with a 1-out walk.
Yeah, you got a very good jump there for that situation. You don't want to be run off the bases on a pickoff. But yeah, he got a good jump, and I'm pretty sure he would have got in there safe at least to make it runner on second with 1 out, or 2 outs. Sorry, if he had a struck out.
Here's the big first baseman, David Sutherland. Sutherland, another Bandit, trying to raise his batting average. It's at 196 right now with 3 homers, 4 runs batted in. Check swing, and it bounces away from Hall. Both runners will advance. Lowry's pitches seem to have more movement than his catcher can handle or than he can control at this point.
Yeah, that one there was tough on the catcher. I mean, 0-0 pitch like that, it looked like it was an off-speed pitch, maybe a changeup or a split. I'm not sure what he's throwing there, but I mean, that one seemed to bounce on the plate. It's never easy, and that's what this ballpark does to you. You overthrow some pitches because you want to be perfect.
Sutherland fouls at the plate, 1-1. Now a real opportunity for Sutherland to drive in a run, or maybe 2, without a home run, something that has not happened for him much this year. I mentioned just 4 runs batted in with 3 home runs. Infield playing back with 1 down. They'll concede the run to get the out. Dutton with good speed at third. Shu with slightly above average speed at second.
Yeah, Shu's impressed me. He actually got quite a bit of speed once he opens up.
He can book it.
Not so much the 90, but when he opens up for a double, he'll keep going to 3 if you don't hold him up.
The 1-1. Sutherland cracks it in the air to right field. Playable for Kennelly.
He's got a good
He
arm.
makes the catch, and a strong throw to the plate is offline. Scoring from third is Dutton, and the Bandits strike first. It's 1-0 Brisbane.
Yeah, you always hold your breath when Kennelly's throwing it in. He's got a very, very strong arm, possibly the best arm in any team's outfield. You know, he had a few years pitching there where he was able to run it up to the mid-upper 90s. So very fit lad too, very fit.
Wind blowing out to right at 31 kilometers per hour, and he had to catch that well above his head. That kind of sapped the momentum from his throw, and as a result, maybe a little less accurate than what he's accustomed to.
Yeah, I mean, he still had to make a 250-foot throw, you know, on the dime to throw out Dutto, but that was a good attempt. Just yanked it inside the line a bit.
Daniel Nielsen takes up high ball 1. Bandits left fielder coming off of a home run in last night's ball game. Pinch hit for by Mitch Ellis in the 7th inning, so he only got 2 at-bats, but a 2-run homer and a strikeout so far in this series. 1-0 a called strike. Lowry has labored. That was pitch number 37. 22 of them for strikes. Nielsen, the 8th place batter. Ryan Battaglia in the on-deck circle. One fouled at the plate. Shu is at third, and he is allowed to get a pretty good lead here with third baseman Glenn Dinning playing at normal depth.
Yeah, right now they're not paying any attention to Shu. They're looking to get the out of the plate. Right now, if he makes his pitches and they're in the right spot out there in the field, that, you know, they're pretty confident that they're going to be able to stop him from scoring by getting the out at first. So they're not worried about him.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lowry gets a pair of outs after the single to walk on the wild pitch. But a run does come in on David Sutherland's sacrifice fly, and the Bandits lead it 1-0 as we go to the 3rd.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
The Bandits, for the first time in this round, have a lead, 1-0 over the Perth Heat as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. Travis Blackley and Eric Bramer with you, and we are dry for now. We're going to stay dry no matter what. We are covered and concealed in the broadcast booth. The fans are dry and the players are dry. That's the most important thing. The field is dry, and One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus, I am told, can carry quite a bit of water before the game is impacted, but it's something that may be tested today and tomorrow more than it has this season, with weather approaching the Brisbane area and set to stick around a while.
Yeah, I've personally seen this field take quite a bit of water. The first championship we won here against Adelaide, we basically played the entire game in a downpour, and that was definitely some of the worst conditions I've ever personally had to pitch in. But you know, both teams had to deal with it, and we just dealt with it better, I guess, that day.
The good news for the Bandits, the Heat, and the fans is that the window that appears to be developing tomorrow is right around when these two teams are scheduled to play their doubleheader. First pitch is scheduled for 2:30, a 7-inning ball game, and 6 o'clock, a full 9-inning contest. 8, 9, and 1 due up in the third for the Heat, beginning with Jake Bowie. Bowie, big left-handed hitting catcher first baseman, takes a called strike. Bowie was the only position player for the Heat who did not make it into last night's ball game. Andy Kyle doesn't have a whole lot of bench options on the road. Just 2 substitutions to make with 11 position players.
Oh, Jake's been known to throw it too off the mound. He's a pitcher.
Can do a little bit of everything.
Well, yeah, last year he gave us a bit of strife on the mound. He's actually really big for him in those the games that he came in. But no slouch at the plate. Yeah, with the left hand, with myself starting last night, I think they gave him a day off and let him go against the righty because he's got a bit of juice in that bat.
Bowie, Williams, and Kennelly against Atherton. Trying for the called strike 3 again was Atherton, but he misses the outside corner. Count runs to 1-2. Atherton with 27 pitches, 20 of them for strikes. So far, he looks much sharper than he did in round 4 against Canberra. The 1-1 pitch. Cracked down the left field line, turning foul. It'll land well out of play.
Yeah, and that's just because he's fastball. He's got his fastball this week, and last week he had the same velocity on his fastball, but he didn't have the feel, the command of it that he seems to have so far in this game. And I mean, it's like pitching when you're blind out there, when you haven't got your best stuff, your best pitch. It really taxes your mind and your body to try and make the adjustments with other pitches to get through it.
Atherton from the slow wind. 1-2. Pitch looked pretty good from up here, but it's a ball. 2-2. Bandits won Atherton's last start, last Saturday against the Cavalry. Extra inning contest, 5-3 victory for the Bandits. Atherton allowed a 3-run homer to Boss, Moe, and Aroa, and then pitched scoreless ball through 5 afterwards. 3-2 count here. Allowed a leadoff walk to Tim Kennelly in the first inning and had to pitch around it. Would like to get the first out here in the third and not offer a free pass. The payoff pitch. A check swing, and the pitch misses low from 0-2 to a base on balls here for Jake Bowie. Leadoff walk. Second walk to go with 3 strikeouts for Atherton, and here is Jess Williams. Williams 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. Robbed of a potential infield single his second time up by Riley Unroe, who charging in made a glove flip to first to beat Williams by about a half a step. First pitch cracked foul. Looking around the league, Sydney's game hosting Melbourne is in a delay. The game has consequences for both of these teams. Sydney tied for first with Brisbane, Melbourne a half game behind Perth in their division. Tied up 2 apiece in Geelong between Geelong Korea and the Auckland Tuatara, that one in the 5th inning. Fouled back to the screen and another 0-2 count. And then in Adelaide, Game Day says they are about to get started between the Bite and the Cavalry. We are not the only team or the only city dealing with weather tonight. O2 popped up, and that one will land out of play as well.
He's making some good pitches this inning. Yeah, a bit unlucky to let Bowie go there, but he's still nailed down, got himself ahead in this count, and you know, some defensive swings here by Williams. He's going to be looking to try and double him up here with something.
Swing and a missed strike 3. Breaking ball down and in. Gets a punch out, the 4th of the game for Tim Atherton, and another Skyfleet Hino strikeout.
Now that was a good curveball. You could tell the first one he threw in this inning to Bowie was, you know, kind of like the one he gave up on the base hit. That one right there, that one was good arm speed, came out looking like a heater in and just fell off the table. And, you know, not many left-handers are going to be able to put that one in play, let alone foul it off.
Lineup turns over for the hot-hitting leadoff man, Tim Kennelly. Kennelly drew a walk to begin the ball game, but did not advance beyond first base. Kennelly on the season batting .381, contending for the batting title in the ABL as he takes a called strike.
And that's huge right there, showing you can come out and go 0-0 strike with the curveball right there. That really puts it in his mind. That will make his fastball better later in the at-bat. I mean, this is that was a great pitch to start this at-bat.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
And backed it up right there with a really good cutter. That's 2 of his best pitches right there in a row. You know, and he hasn't even featured his most dominant pitch yet. So, you know, that's incredible pitching right there. And, you know, it'll take a good piece of hitting to work himself out of this count.
If anyone can do it, it's Kennelly.
Yep. Definitely very capable.
Atherton from the stretch. Pitch just misses the outside corner. Atherton hit his target, and it was framed by Battaglia to no avail.
Yeah, I think right there he was trying to go fastball in, ended up pulling it to Battaglia's right knee, which essentially should have been middle away on the plate, but I guess he had it down. Looked pretty good from up here, but
the 1-2. Kennelly drives it in the air to left field and deep. Nielsen going back. He turns around and it's gone. Tim Kennelly stays hot. His 4th home run of the year gives the Heat a 2-1 edge.
And you see what we were talking about before, umpire missing a call and right after it something happening. I mean, that was a good pitch right there. He actually jammed him, but you know, that's Brisbane for you. You know, that's good hitter, putting enough wood on it.
And I'll remind our viewers that this is yesterday's starting pitcher talking.
Yeah, it is though. I mean, this ballpark, you know, for people that don't really, you know, that just watch the game for fun, never played at this level. I mean, these are full-grown men at the top of the level, top level in Australia, and we're playing, you know, in quite a small park compared to the rest of the league. And with the wind combined, it can make pitching very tough to do in this place. And you know, in the past years, we've had such a powerful lineup that's been making it hard on everyone else. You know, we're just waiting for everyone to kind of get into the flow of it with the bats and, you know, make it tough on everyone else.
Tristan Gray flew out to center his first time up, but last night he delivered the go-ahead 2-run homer in the top of the 9th inning. And that ball probably would not be out in most ballparks.
No, neither of those 9th inning home runs would get out in any other ballpark in this league. And you know, I mean, we've got to deal with it as much as the other team does too. So, you know, we can't go crying about it, but, you know, it definitely makes it tough to pitch here, and I think it's overlooked. You know, especially with the numbers get skewed a lot in this ballpark. And same for the hitting too. You know, last year we had a lot of high averages, a lot of home runs, and, yeah, you know, a lot of them wouldn't have been home runs in other ballparks, but, ooh.
Driven out to right field, but off the end of the bat. Unruh comes in a few steps, and he makes the catch for the second out.
If the wind wasn't as bad as it is here on a daily basis, you know, you could manage it. But I think, and it's not even left field. Left field, you know, you can take that. It's fairly straight up because the wind blows across. But right field is very, plays very short, and center field plays very short. I mean, 370 feet is not exactly regulation size in any field, but you know, there's no real room to move it back anyway, so got to deal with it.
Pete Kozma, strikeout victim, his first time up, stands in and takes a called strike. You mentioning the wind caused my eyes to rise up to the flagpoles in right center. Wind is still blowing out to right. Didn't really need to confirm that, but in looking up, I did see some lightning flashes to the southwest of the ballpark.
Oh, yeah. Well, the rest of the season, you'll probably see a lot.
Popped up, shallow right center. Second baseman Dutton has it. He calls and catches for out number 3. But the Heat, as they have done all season long, answer one blow with another, scoring 2 in the third on a home run from Tim Kennelly to take a 2-1 advantage over the Bandits.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
Well, I'll be.
Thank you,
Archer! Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Kookaburra sits on the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Perth on top of Brisbane 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the third inning, and a little bird watching here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Called strike begins the at-bat to Ryan Battaglia in the bottom of the third. Battaglia, Unruh, and Bennett 9-1 and 2 against Connor Lowry, who has just been handed a 2-1 advantage.
You ever heard a kookaburra laugh?
I have not.
Yeah, that's something you need to do. They're pretty impressive.
It looks pretty impressive. I can see it from here, and I'm worried for that kookaburra's safety. On the top of the net, above the Bandits' dugout on the first base side.
Hey, you should do yourself a favour and go to the Australia Zoo, or there's a few sanctuaries around here with the animals. You can see kookaburras and you can get them to laugh for you.
Popped up in foul territory and now drifting with the wind towards fair territory. Hall stays with it and makes the catch, stumbling backwards into his own pitcher. Suki Bowl replay. You can see where Hall begins this. And with his back to the infield, that's a really nice play.
Yeah, never easy right there. And as a pitcher, I'm staying well out of his way.
As you should. Riley Unruh steps up. Bandits right fielder flew out to right to begin the ball game. And he takes low ball 1. I think I am going to hit up the Australia Zoo. That's about, what, an hour's drive north of here?
Yeah, hour and a half. It's worth it. It's really good. You know, if you go on the right day, you'll see Steve Irwin's family. They still work there and live there, so it's a pretty cool place to go.
Two 2-0 the count.
Larry looking with like he's coming out with a lot more off speed this second time to the lineup. He started off with Buff there. He had the first pitch change up and then a swing and miss 2 pitches later, another change up, and right here he started him soft.
3-0. Unruh and his speed trying to get on base any way possible. No sign of a swing from Unruh, and no reason to even fake one. A 4-pitch walk is as easy as it can get. He trots down to first, representing the tying run.
Yeah, nothing more frustrating as a pitcher than seeing him statue himself in the box like he's not even going to swing, and then you still can't throw a strike. We've all been there.
Second walk of the ball game for Lowry. Here's TJ Bennett, who flew out to center field his first time up.
Yeah, he'd be upset with that. You know, that's kind of what happened there with Atho. You know, let Bowie go on the walk and then ended up hurting him. I'm sure the Bandits are going to be looking to return the favor in this inning.
5 straight balls.
Another changeup.
And not well located by Lowry. Unruh has good speed, but he hasn't been on base quite enough as he would like to show it off. David Nielsen doesn't typically do that sort of thing much anyway, at least not unnecessarily. Lowry, thinking the same thing as me, throws over and Unruh dives back.
A lot of the time at this level, he will only put the steal on or the hit and run on when he feels it. I think he would let someone like Riley run if he sees that, you know, picks him up timing-wise, he might take off. But right now, why would you run? He's having trouble throwing a strike. You know, you're just going to, if you get thrown out, you've given him an out. So right now, let him work the count, get a pitch to hit. Hopefully, you know, put the Bandits back up on top.
Bennett, the type of guy who will get a green light. But he does not get a strike. 3-0, 7 straight balls. And at some point, the Outlaws are going to start chanting the ball streak.
Yeah, you know, they were a bit quiet last night. I didn't hear him at all until about the 4th or 5th. And I haven't heard him yet tonight.
Looking for something to cheer about. 3-0.
Not even close.
8 straight balls for Lowry, and back-to-back walks to Unruh and Bennett, bringing Andrew Campbell to the plate, and Alberto Bastardo, the pitching coach, out to have a chat.
Yeah, as I expect. You know, you got to go out there and settle him down. You know, you just walked lead off in the 2-hole to get to the meat of the lineup, which is never a good idea in this ballpark. And when you know it, the flags seem to be settling down a little bit, right when you don't want them to.
Alberto Bastardo, a longtime minor leaguer in affiliated baseball. Had a chat with him. Currently doing some stuff for the Tampa Bay Rays organization, and with the relationship between Perth and Tampa, logical that he would come over here.
Yeah, courtesy of us. We actually had the Tampa Bay Rays guys coming with us, and I think it was last year we weren't in as much need for the players and or for the positions they were trying to send, and I think you know, Perth were in need, so it's helped them out a lot. But we got one of them back. Riley was a member of the Tampa Bay Rays on the first year we got him out, and you know, he loved it out here so much he wanted to come back.
Danny De La Calle also.
Yeah, Danny as well.
Rays member.
Oh,
after 8 straight balls, Andrew Campbell swings and misses at a pitch that wasn't close to the zone, 0-1.
Yeah, I think he'd be upset with himself there. You know, 8 straight balls. I mean, I know you want to get on that first one, but I mean, you know, you gotta make him prove he's going to come back to you there.
Unruh at second, Bennett at first. The 0-1 pitch. Campbell pops it up, left side out of play over our heads.
And that situation there, he goes up there and statues him right there, and even if it's a strike, you know, you made him earn the strike. By swinging over it there, you know, puts him ahead in the count, and he gets away with a fastball up in the zone there with a foul.
Kennelly homered after falling behind 0-2. Campbell hopes to do the same.
Ooh, that was almost a balk right there.
You know the textbook definition of a balk because you tread the line very closely.
Yeah, I mean, people think that. If you just saw where my foot lands, I really don't cheat the 45-degree rule. I just keep my shoulders straight to home, and that's what really gets me the pickoffs. But that particular move there, you're supposed to clear the rubber with your foot, and it looked like he went up, and as he spun, he put it down either on the rubber or in front, or you know, kind of even with his other foot, and then kind of skipped over it. It looked very weird. Looked like he lost his footing almost.
And maybe a miscommunication here as the entire infield comes in. Does that move to second get tougher as the game goes along and there's more of a divot on the front side of the rubber?
Not at all. I mean, myself personally, I actually know when I'm going to do it, and I normally pitch with half my foot on the rubber, half of it off. And when I know I'm going to do that, I actually take my heel off the rubber, you know, a good 30 degrees, so I'm already preset my spin.
Don't give away too much, Travis.
Oh, it's all right. Everyone really does it like that, and you're not expecting to pick someone off like that.
1-2, served into right field, down for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Unruh. He will score the tying run. The back-to-back walks come back to bite Lowry, and Unruh, with his speed, slides in just ahead of the throw from Kennelly and right. 2-2.
Great throw by Kennelly there. I mean, any other guy running to score there probably gets hosed at the plate. That was a perfect one-hop dime right on the money. Riley's the fastest guy in our team, and we're thankful that he was at second at the time.
Bennett stays at second, advancing just one base on the RBI single from Andrew Campbell.
And that's another thing. That throw came in really low, could have easily been cut, and that's why he wasn't able to advance. Anytime you see that outfielder, you know, airmail one up in the air to try and carry it all the way, that's when the hitter can take off.
Donald Lutz takes outside ball one. Lutz a strikeout victim his first time up.
I'd venture to say that was in the mid to upper 90s right there on the throw. Wish we had that kind of StatCast technology here. That would be interesting to see.
High fly ball, left center field. Ballpark will hold it as Chester, the center fielder, makes the catch.
Yeah, he just kind of got a little fillet on that one. If he had to hit that one more to right center with a tad more, he might have got that one out. I saw balls like that leaving the yard in batting practice, so so you always hold your breath when you see the ball go up in the sky here.
2 down, 2 on for Wade Dutton, who singled his first time up. That was at the time the first hit of the ball game for the Bandits. They still have only 2 hits. Dutton's single and Campbell's RBI single a moment ago. But 3 walks from Lowry have clogged up the bases. First pitch to Dutton. Missing inside, ball 1. Hits and runs are even. 2 each for both teams.
Yeah, walks have really been the difference. I mean, anytime you walk the leadoff guy, they come around to score quite often. I would know. I've had 2 walks all season.
Driven to deep left field and down for a hit off the wall on a hop. Bennett and Campbell will score. It is a 2-out, 2-run double from Wade Dutton, and the Bandits take the lead 4-2.
There it is. You know, you give a free pass, you know, and you know, anything can happen, and it just always seems to work that way. I mean, not normally 100% of them score, but for me, as I said, 2 walks and they both come around to score for against me. So it's never a good idea to put a guy on, especially leading off the inning.
Chu Ji-hung walked his first time up, got as far as third base before being stranded. He'll try and keep the train rolling here, with 3 runs already in for the Bandits in the third. Aiming for the inside corner, knee-high, Lowry misses, and it's ball 1. That was pitch number 60 on the night for Lowry. Only 32 of them for strikes. Two and 0.
This is somewhat more of a situation where you're willing to walk a guy with a bit of pop like this, and you know, you got a base open. You got another left-hander on deck, but any opportunity to start better than 2-0 to the next guy, you know, you're gonna probably take that. You don't want to give in here and just throw a cookie, because that could turn it into a big lead for the Bandits.
Lowry steps off as Dutton strays a little too far from second base for his liking. Hall sets up inside.
Oof.
And he hits his target. 2-1. What did you see there, Travis? You were grunting in disapproval.
Yeah, you know, like he's setting up on the outside corner, and when his glove catches that ball outside of his left knee, you know, then it tells me that it's off the plate, and it's just one of those things, you know. I mean, it's a courtesy call, I guess, but it's something you don't see at the higher levels all that much.
3-1 with Sutherland waiting on deck. Shu takes his second walk, and that was a pretty close pitch. At least it looked like from up here, but this time Shu gets the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you know, and that same thing right there. He kind of caught that right on his outside knee. When you're setting up on in a pitch like that, you know, you don't want to make the mistake over the plate. So the catch is going to give basically right down the center of his body. He's going to give the corner of the plate. So if you assume that that's the center of his face mask, the center of his body, if he's catching that on his knee, that should be 2-3 inches off the plate.
David Sutherland hit a run-scoring sacrifice fly to right field his first time up. It was his 5th RBI of the year, and he takes a called strike to begin his second plate appearance.
On the other hand, if he's setting up away and he catches that on his right knee, now you know it's middle to middle in, so that's a strike. Same if he sets up inside and catches it off the outside knee. But when you're setting up away and you get that, man, I'd love pitching with that zone.
0-1 a check swing. Sutherland held up, and both runners hold up as they took a few hard steps, but didn't want to make the third out on the base paths.
He's got some good changeups coming in there. It just seems like he's overthrowing them a tad. You know, he's a little tense. You know, this is a situation in the game, you know, where it could be broken open, and if he could just take a deep breath, relax, and let it come, he'd probably make a few more better pitches.
Called strike, and it's 1-2. Looked like a fastball there, but
yeah, good sink action too.
Against a lefty-heavy lineup, a righty's changeup could be a very effective pitch. I think we're seeing that tonight.
Yeah, you know, and he's thrown some good ones.
Changeup, if it has any lateral movement, tends to tail away from the arm side. 2-2. Sutherland hits it on the ground. Diving stop by Cosma, but it gets through and into right field. Scoring from second is Dutton. Shu takes third. It is a 4-run third inning for the Bandits and a 5-2 lead.
And now he's got 2 RBIs on non-home run swings, so if you want to jinx a bit more of the other guys for us, that'd be nice.
Cosma knocked it down, but it bled through, and now he's looking at his wrist. Andy Kyle looking at his bullpen, and he has seen enough from Connor Lowry. The ERA is going to go up, and this will be almost certainly his worst outing of the year to this point in the season. It looked good until this third inning, but he departs with 4 runs already in, trailing 5-2. Back after this on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Connor Lowry lasted just 2 2/3, and in an Alderley higher pitching change, the Perth Heat go to their bullpen. Daniel Schmidt, the lefty, comes on. With runners at the corners 2 down, Daniel Nielsen, a left-handed hitting batter, due up as the 9th man in the inning for the Bandits. Schmidt, you can see his numbers, the ERA at 4.76 and 11 1/3 innings of work. 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. And he will face Daniel Nielsen, who struck out swinging his first time up. Different look, a lefty after a righty starter. And I'm not sure exactly how long Andy Kyle plans to throw this southpaw, but he will need to get some innings from somebody after Connor Lowry went a lot shorter than he would have hoped.
Yeah, Schmidt's been a starter in the past. Generally in the last year or two, I've noticed he's been more of a lefty-lefty reliever. Doesn't feature a whole lot of speed with his fastball. Used to have a bit more, but age gets the best of us all. But
hasn't gotten me yet, but
but no, he has pretty good off speed. You know, he changes it up. He locates his off speed, which is key to why he's still able to compete at this level. You know, and he has a whole lot of different looks too, a whole lot of different breaking ball variations, and he'll turn that low to mid 80s into what seems to be upper 80s at times.
Nielsen drops down a bunt off the plate that is fielded in fair territory by the catcher, but the throw to first is high. Shu will score from third, and things are falling apart for the Heat. The Bandits now lead it 6-2.
Yeah, I think that shocked everyone in the ballpark right there. It wasn't the best of bunts. He kind of jammed it into the ground and gave the catcher a good opportunity, but you know, the Bandits will definitely take that. You know, miscue by Alex Hall right there.
Suki Bowl replay. You can see how much time Hall had to throw to first, but the throw, just a little bit too much gas on it.
That would have worked had he have just spat that out 10 feet from the plate, you know. It would have worked perfectly, but yeah, he got away with one.
Ryan Battaglia takes inside. He started the inning with a foul pop to the catcher. First time, I believe, the Bandits have batted around this season.
Yeah, could be.
Certainly the first time at home. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Sutherland at second, Nielsen at first. Still waiting on the official ruling, base hit or error.
Oh, you'd have to error that, wouldn't you?
I would think so. That's what I would.
You would think so, but you never know, I guess.
If I'm Lowry, I want it as an error. He's responsible for that run, and Sutherland currently in scoring position at second. 2-1 now the count.
Never assume. I find that out every week.
Schmidt's 2-1. Inside, almost kneecap Battaglia. 3-1 with Riley Unruh waiting on deck.
I think she looks to have a little better fastball than last year. It definitely is with that slow lumbering action that he has. You know, all of a sudden it really explodes out of his fingers. It still might not read, you know, much more than the mid 80s, but
Battaglia cracks it foul and the count runs full.
Just missed the kookaburra on that one.
Kookaburra is still up there. I don't know if he's moved.
No, he got free tickets.
Good luck, Kookaburra. Bandits bat around when he's up there.
Yeah, I think we might have to invite him back.
Three-two pitch coming. Runners take off, as they do. Ball 4 misses outside. Bases will be loaded for Riley Unruh, and the Bandits, who have already scored 5 in this inning, can make it an inning to remember with a base hit here from Unruh.
Yeah, the key in this situation, you know, is to really keep the pressure on. Don't be swinging out of the zone. Look for your pitch. You know, as a pitcher in this situation, you're just hoping he gets himself out on something, you know, and you've really got to, you know, work the pitcher in this count.
Unruh takes a called strike.
Big, slow breaking ball. Nobody wants to swing at that. That's a free strike in this situation. If you can locate it, you know, a hitter is, you know, very rarely going to hit that ball hard.
Schmidt, 30 years old, in his 9th season with the Heat. 0-1 misses wide.
Backed it up with a changeup.
Born north of here in Cairns.
Was he?
According to his bio.
Interesting. I've only ever known him as a heater.
The 1-1. Unrow early on the changeup, and it's 1-2.
Probably not going to see a fastball, but if he does, it would be inside just to stop him from diving.
The 1-2. Breaking pitch, and it fooled Unrow. It almost caught the outside corner.
Yeah, that came out a little lower inside, a little more sideways than what we're used to seeing, but he was trying for that backdoor curveball. And in that situation, you can try and be perfect with it there. But now you've got to throw a strike. You don't want to go 3-2.
Unrow cracks it hard on the ground towards short into the breadbasket of Gray, and safe at second is Battaglia. Sutherland scores from third. The inning continues, and the Bandits lead it now 7-2.
Another thing, you know, when you get this and the counts are going long and you're kind of pitching, you're working slow. The position players have been out there for a long time. It's very easy for them to fall back on their heels, and a play that they'd normally make when the game's moving at a faster pace, they seem to get a bad hop or something happens like that, and it prolongs the inning, and now it gets even tougher.
Gray will tell you himself that he should have made that play. The last hop looked like it came in the baseline and may have skipped up on him a bit. TJ Bennett drew a walk earlier this inning. He's 0 for 1, and he takes low, 1-0. Cleaning up on the Nielsen at bat, it'll be a missed catch error from the first baseman, Jake Bowie. Lifted foul out of play down the left field line. So not a throwing error on the catcher Hall.
Interesting.
Right now it's in the books as an E3. No run batted in.
E3. I mean, that was well above his head, and I mean, catching is one of the easiest things to do in this game, especially when...
That makes 2 errors in the inning. Bowie and now Gray just moments ago at shortstop on the force attempt.
Especially with all that time he had to throw it, you know.
Bennett's early, and he cracks it foul down the first baseline. Now Schmidt has had to throw 15 pitches. He came in with 2 outs, and he hasn't gotten the third. E3, base on balls, and an E6. Bandits will take it however they can get it. The 1-2.
Nope, hit
inside, and it hits him. That'll force in another run as Nielsen scores from third.
I mean,
Bandits score their 7th run of the inning. They lead it 8-2.
Yeah, if you're hitting, that's one you're willing to take. You know, that's about 60 miles an hour. It won't even leave a mark.
Breaking pitch as we take a look at the Suki Bowl replay. Oh, yeah. I'll lean into that.
Yeah, we got ice.
Andrew Campbell tied up the ball game with a 1-out RBI single his last time up. We thought that would be the biggest moment in this inning. 6 more runs have followed since. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, and as the Bandits line up, they're going to be trying to cash in as many as they can because, you know, this is a good Perth Heat lineup, and, you know, in this ballpark, no lead is ever truly safe. So
even on the road Sunday in Canberra, Bandits had a 9-0 lead, and it turned into a save situation. 9-7 final as the Cavalry came back. Lefty-lefty matchup. Pitch misses low and away. The Bandits haven't had a laugher really all season.
No, it's been tough days for the boys. They've been trying to get something going, but their reputation definitely helps them in this ballpark when it comes to that. That's going to fall.
Into shallow center, down for a hit. Battaglia scores. Unrow scores. 2 more runs come in for the Bandits. It is a 9-run third inning and a 10-2 lead.
You know, just didn't try and do too much right there. He had the count in his favour, got a pitch up in the zone. Didn't really hit it with much authority, but just enough to get it out of the infield. And, you know, he'll take that every day and twice on Sunday.
A pair of hits and 3 RBI for Campbell in the 3rd inning alone. Alberto Bastardo coming out for a mound visit for his 2nd different pitcher this inning. Schmidt has been rudely greeted. He should have outs number 3 and 4 in the inning, but his defense has failed him, and the Bandits have taken full advantage. 20 pitches already for Schmidt, and he's yet to record an out. Inning began with an out. Ryan Battaglia's foul pop. Walk, RBI single, fly out to center, 2-run double, walk, RBI single, E3, walk, E6, hit by pitch, and a 2-run single. For the first time in a while, the bases are not loaded. Bennett is at second, Campbell is at first, Donald Lutz is up. He's 0 for 2. Lutz hits it hard on the ground towards first, scooped up by Bowie, and he beats Lutz to the bag to end a nightmarish 3rd inning for the Heat. But it was a very, very pleasant 3rd inning for the Bandits, who score 9 runs to take a commanding 10-2 edge to the top of the 4th. Back after this with more on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
After a 9-run 3rd inning, the Brisbane Bandits hold a 10-2 lead over the Perth Heat as we go to the top of the 4th inning on a cloudy but clear night here in Brisbane. Welcome to the broadcast booth, Lewis Thorpe, making his broadcast debut here tonight. Thanks to Travis Blackley for joining us for the first 3. He'll be back for the next few innings. But Lewis, you're up here. You've been the good luck charm down in the dugout as you've seen the Bandits get out to another first-place start. You have not seen the field, and you likely will not see the field, but you've been a part of this team, traveling with them. Tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit about what you've done so far this year.
You know, just helping them out in the bullpen and stuff like that, just giving them some tips, but normally they're pretty good for themselves, you know. Bats are getting hot, they're starting to swing it, and everything's starting to come together.
Lewis, a Melbourne native and currently a top prospect in the Twins organization. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Heat, beginning with Chris Betts. Tim Atherton enjoyed that 9-run 3rd inning that saw the Bandits score 9 runs on only 4 hits. 2 errors helped as well. Betts, who struck out his first time up, takes a called strike. Betts, Glendinning, and Chester for the Heat, trying to get back into this ballgame against the tough righty Tim Atherton. Atherton allowed a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, but only 2 hits so far. He's walked a pair and struck out 4. Lifted foul out of play. Lewis, this was a great American summer for you.
Yep.
Getting an invitation to the Futures game, representing Australia as Team World in Washington, D.C. You got your first taste of AAA in Rochester, and I know the Twins think very highly of you. What was the biggest leap forward for you in terms of your development?
I think just maturity, to be honest. Just finding the strike zone and just throwing it over the plate. That's all it takes.
Atherton from the wind. 1-1 breaking ball misses, and it's 2-1. You were one of the first players signed to the Bandits roster for the 18-19 season, but I guess it is flattering that the Twins want to protect you and keep you fresh for mid-February when they start camp.
Yeah, you know, it's not the best that I'm not allowed to play, but as long as I'm here, you know, just being with the boys and bringing the good vibes and as long as we keep winning, we're looking good for the finals.
Betts goes down looking. Strikeout number 5 for Atherton. Second time he's gotten Betts, and another Skyfleet Hino strikeout as we take a look at the replay. That is a nice pitch on the outside corner from Tim Atherton.
He's just got to go at him here, I reckon. Scored a lot of runs.
Robbie Glendinning stands in. He struck out swinging his first time up. Glendinning batting .316 on the year. He swings and misses at the first offering. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Heat. 10 runs on 5 hits for the Bandits, as Brisbane looks to even up this series at a game apiece. A 1 on the inside corner, and Atherton is doing exactly what you suggested, Lewis. It's easier said than done, but with an 8-run lead, you want to throw strikes and challenge batters.
Exactly. You know, they just put up 9 spots, so you just got to challenge them up, throw it over the plate, and let them put the ball in play and keep the pitch count down.
Another 0-2 count for Atherton. Glendinning stays alive, lifting it foul out of play. Still no precipitation. We were warned that the rain may move in as we got deeper into this ball game. Losing team, right now that would be the Heat, has to bat 5 times for this game to become official. Another 0-2 coming. Check swing, and Glendinning held up. Lewis, as you look forward to 2019 and beyond, what things do you feel you need to fine-tune to take that next step?
You know, just being able to get better with pitch control, you know, working the corners and stuff like that. But to be honest, I think right now, after my 2018 season, I've got confidence going into 2019 that will really help me in the long run.
Looking through your numbers at Chattanooga, an 8-4 record with a 3.58 ERA. And you didn't pick up a win in your 4 starts at AAA Rochester, but an ERA of 3.32. I know you feel pleased about the way you performed against the International League batters. 2-2 lifted down the right field line, foul on top of the batting cage.
Yeah, those hitters in the International League, you know, it's almost like the big leagues. You know, you got hitters coming down from the big leagues up and down a lot, so you've just got to get better in your pitch selection. They know what they're looking for, so, you know, it's all about knowing what to throw them and scouting reports and analytics and all that sort of stuff.
Your entire career, you've had more strikeouts than innings pitched, but this past season in America, 157 punch-outs and 129 and 2/3 innings. This one sent in the air deep towards right field, but a leaping catch made just shy of the wall. Unruh hauls it in for the second out. Just in on the hands a little bit, it appeared, and Glendinning didn't get all of that.
Surprised the wind didn't have a factor on that one.
First pitch wind at 31 kilometers per hour out to right field, and we have seen it wreak havoc on some fly balls, but Unruh plays it well. 2 up, 2 down in the 4th for Carl Chester. Chester singled his first time up, one of just 2 hits the Heat have tonight. This is increasingly a 3 true outcomes game. Home runs, walks, and strikeouts. You've got the strikeouts part down. What is your best pitch?
For me, I think my best pitch is probably my curveball or slider. You know, I have command with my slider. I can throw it behind the count when I want to, so I think that is a big factor for me.
1 pitch, 1 out as Carl Chester flies to center. It is a 1-2-3-4 inning, and exactly the inning that Tim Atherton was looking for as he gets his offense back on the field. We go to the bottom of the 4th here in Brisbane. It is 10-2 Bandits on Bandits.tv. Bandits on top, 10-2 over the Perth Heat here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Eric Bramer and right-handed pitcher Lewis Thorpe joining you in the broadcast booth for Game 2 of 4 in Round 5 of the ABL season. Doubleheader tomorrow scheduled with a 7-inning ball game at 2:30 local time and a full 9-inning contest beginning at 6 o'clock. Weather may play a factor, but we appear to have a window both tonight and tomorrow as we hope to get these games in. Last night's game was a thriller, a 9-5 victory for the Heat, who scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning after the Bandits came back to tie it late. Heat in first place in their division. Bandits tied for first place in their division. This is the only time that these two teams will meet in the regular season, but I get the sense that this may be a playoff preview of some sort. Wade Dutton, just an inning ago, delivered a 2-out go-ahead double to drive in 2. And an inning later, with his team leading by 8, he stands in against Daniel Schmidt. Dutton, Shue, and Sutherland for the Bandits. Called strike begins the at-bat to Dutton. Single and a double for the second baseman. With the batting average climbing, he has a hot bat. Sent back to the screen, and the count is 0-2. Schmidt was called upon to get the final out of the third inning. 2 defensive errors behind him prolong matters. He has 3 runs on his ledger, but none of them are earned. 0-2 breaking pitch misses wide. Lewis Thorpe, you were developed out of Australia, and the ABL is all about developing homegrown talent. For our viewers at home who may be unfamiliar with your story, as Dutton takes outside, how did you exactly get into the game of baseball, and how were you drafted by the Twins?
So getting into it, Mark Ellis, his son Mitchell plays on the team. He just told me to come down to T-ball, and I did that, and ever since that, I was about 7 years old. Just loved it ever since, you know. And then at 14 years old, I had to choose between AFL and baseball, and I think I chose the right path within baseball and played international tournaments and got a lot of coverage from international scouts. And the Australian Academy too was a big deal, so that was just a big part of it. And then got a contract from the Minnesota Twins.
Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Dutton goes down, and that's the first strikeout for Schmidt for out number 1 in the 4th. And I should clarify, you were signed as a free agent, not drafted, as we take another look. Perhaps a generous inside corner for Schmidt.
Yes.
Shu Ji-hung stands in. He's drawn a pair of walks in his 2 trips to the plate. First pitch sent back to the screen, 0-1.
This guy swings it harder than anyone I've ever seen.
Hasn't quite gotten it going, but we saw in the exhibition series against Auckland just what his potential is. The batting average on the year, .222. Hit his first homer of the season, round 4 in Canberra, and was robbed of another home run. He sends a pop-up foul down the third base line. Over for a look is Glendinning, but he runs out of room. AFL, Australian rules football.
Yep.
What are the overlapping skills that could lead someone to make a choice between those two at the age of 14?
To be honest, there's nothing really, because AFL consists of, endurance. That could be a big part of it. You know, you have to be very fit to play AFL. A lot of running involved, and that's basically like a starting pitcher. You know, you pitch 1 out of every 5 days, and then you get your conditioning and your workouts in. So I think maybe endurance is a big part of it.
So you were just a good athlete?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports.
Slow breaking pitch skipped over the first base bag, and a nice pickup by Bowie, making a sliding stop and taking it to the base for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down, and 3 straight retired for Schmidt going back to the 3rd inning. Here's David Sutherland. Sutherland 1 for 1 in true trips to the plate. Run-scoring sacrifice fly in the 2nd, and an RBI single in the 3rd that knocked starter Connor Lowry out of the ballgame. Hard-hit grounder was that RBI single, deep in the hole towards 2nd, and Pete Kozma made a sliding attempt, but the ball knocked off his glove into right field. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Pitch chopped on the ground, right side again.
Could be trouble.
High hop for Cosma, and he throws it on to first for a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Bandits go quietly in the fourth after their 9-run third, but no matter. They still lead it 10-2 as we go to the fifth on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer. Yeah.
Good boy, Archer.
Brisbane Bandits lead the Perth Heat 10-2 as we go to the top of the fifth inning at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. With Lewis Thorpe, I'm Eric Kramer. Thank you for joining us. Travis Blackley is going to return to the broadcast booth for the final few frames, but Lewis, thank you for joining us and illuminating us as to your professional development in Australia and now heading over to Minnesota. I know you have a busy rest of the offseason planned.
Yep. I fly out on January 6th, so I've got to go to Miami for MLB Players Association, and they send 4 prospects up there to get used to you. Just cameras in your face and interviews and stuff like that, so that's exciting stuff. And then
this is good practice for that.
Exactly. And then I go up to Minnesota on the 24th, the Diamond Awards, and then Twins Fest, which will be fun. It's always fun interacting with the Twins fans and getting to know them a lot more. So.
Alex Hall, the catcher, grounded into a double play his first time up. Bottom third of the order for the Heat against Tim Atherton. Atherton needs one more frame to be eligible for a win. He delivers low 1-1. No action in the Bandits' pen. No reason to have any action in the pen. Running at least one man short. By most definitions, maybe even 2 men short. The Bandits will try and get as much as they can out of Tim Atherton with a comfortable lead. Hall chases the high fastball, and the count is 1-2. I know you're from Melbourne. You're kind of flying back and forth, being with the team here in Brisbane to stay active and get involved in some workouts, but how much time are you splitting between home and here?
So I'll fly back on Sunday afternoon, and because we're in Melbourne.
Chop to short. High hop for Bennett. He has to wait back, and the one-hop throw is scooped out by Sutherland just in time to retire Hall. Nice play by Bennett. He saw his shortstop counterpart, Gray, get eaten up on a hop. A similar play a few moments ago. And an on-target throw, even though it was low, gives Sutherland a chance, and there's out number 1.
We're in Melbourne next week, so I'll go spend some time with Mum and Dad and the family. It's always good because I don't get to see them often, and they love having me home. So, but usually fly back on Sunday and then come back on Wednesday. Is usually the plan.
Jake Bowie walked and scored his first time up. He takes a called strike. It's pitch number 62 for Atherton, 46 of them for strikes. Atherton winds and deals. Just missing. That's the pitcher in you, the instinct reaction to groan at a pitch that was almost a strike.
I want that pitch to strike. especially the rate that this game's going.
The 1-1. Bowie checks, and the count is 2-1. The Kookaburra is flying back and forth on the backstop netting. It did not move for about 20 minutes as the Bandits racked up 9 runs in the third. And now it's traveling around. We don't want a Randy Johnson situation, so as long as it stays up high, looks like it's got dinner.
Riley Kookaburra.
There it is. How about our Bandits.TV crew capturing the Kookaburra?
Whatever
it is that the Kookaburra is dining on is still alive, though maybe not for long. That's about as Australian as you can get. 2-2, hit on the ground right side, picked up by Dutton. And a nice play by the Bandits infielders on back-to-back grounders. Dutton moving towards his left as we take a look at the Suki Bowl replay. Short hop and an on-target throw for out number 2. 7 straight retired by Tim Atherton after Tim Kennelly's 2-run homer in the third. Atherton will try and keep Kennelly in the on-deck circle and get through this 5th inning as Jess Williams steps in. Williams, a strikeout victim his first time up. Batting an even 200 on the year. Called strike on the inside corner. Lewis, you got to take part in the Futures game in Washington, D.C. What was that experience like?
That was awesome. You know, it went quick, but, you know, I soaked it all in, and it was just a great experience, you know. Just being able to be around a bunch of talented guys. They're the best young prospects in the league, so, you know, hopefully I'll be playing against them in maybe this year or next year up in the big leagues.
Atherton 1 strike away from another 1-2-3 inning. The righty delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for Tim Atherton. The righty has retired 8 straight, and the Bandits take a 10-2 lead to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
Current Cove Brisbane Bandits lead at 10-2 over the Perth Heat as they try and avenge last night's loss in this round 5 matchup. Mitch Ellis is getting ready to enter the ballgame as a pinch hitter, presumably for Daniel Nielsen. And we were talking not too long ago, Lewis Thorpe, about the Ellis family and how Mitch's dad, Mark, was the one who introduced you to the game of baseball.
Yeah. You know, we're in kindergarten. I've known Mitch since I was 5 years old. We've been best friends ever since, and just really privileged the way that I got into baseball and grown up playing baseball with Mitch. And he's a gamer, you know. He's got the talent, and hopefully he gets some exposure out of this and signs with the club.
Ellis, switch hitter, batting righty against the left-handed throwing Daniel Schmidt. Called strike begins the at-bat. Ellis has not been an everyday fixture, but he has made the most out of his opportunities, batting .375 on the season. 1 homer, 6 RBI. Chases a breaking pitch in the dirt, and it's 0-2. Daniel Nielsen had gone 0 for 2, a strikeout, and he reached on an error in that disastrous 3rd inning for the Heat. Schmidt from the wind. Bounced in the dirt. This time Ellis lays off. Lewis, you were telling us before the inning break about your Futures game experience, and that was the first time you had ever pitched in a major league ballpark.
Yeah, it was, and it was a nice ballpark too.
Ellis chops it on the ground towards short. Gray fields and throws to retire Mitch Ellis for the first out. Ryan Battaglia will step in. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored.
You know, it's a different feel to a minor league stadium. That 3rd tier gets you, you know, and just seeing all those fans in that ballpark, it's a crazy feeling. It just really gives you the edge to try and want to make it to the big leagues, because you got to experience what it was like to be a big leaguer for a couple days. And
Battaglia swings at the first pitch, sends a pop-up down the right field line. It's going to drop in no man's land for a bloop single. Battaglia continues to be productive out of the 9 spot. After a homer and a 2-hit game last night, he's got a base hit here with 1 down in the 5th inning. Lineup turns over for Riley Unruh. No hits, but he's reached twice, once with a walk and once on a fielding error. Well, Lewis, you're just 23 years old, but as you hope to make your major league debut this upcoming year and stick in the bigs for a while, you will be seen, best case scenario, as an ambassador for the game of baseball in Australia. How do you think the game is growing and developing?
Oh, it's growing a lot, you know. The ABL's picked up massively, and the ABL's doing a good job with the live feeds, and it's getting broadcasted over in Taiwan too. So, you know, it's just a lot of young players are coming out of Australia, so it's just really good to see, you know, following in the steps of guys like Ryan Rowland-Smith, especially Travis Blackley, you know, and it's just, you know, just to be able to follow in those guys' footsteps is amazing.
How about these Bandits? They haven't had exactly the start to their season that they would have liked, but to be in first place when you haven't played your best baseball has to be a good sign.
Oh, they're gamers, man. They even when they lose, you know, it's just very positive in that clubhouse. All the guys get along so well, and you know, it's just good energy. And when we win, we have a good time, and when we lose, we have a good time. They don't change.
2-1 pitch to Riley Unruh, cracked foul. Bandits are the 3-time defending champions in the Australian Baseball League. Perth among the many teams in position to potentially topple the Bandits and take the Claxton Shield this year. ABL expanded from 6 to 8 teams this season, with expansion franchises in Auckland, New Zealand, and in Geelong, with a Korean team playing just outside of Melbourne. 2-2 to Unruh. Popped up, back of third, foul territory. Glendinning has room, and the wind keeps it in the ballpark. Foul fly catch made by the Heat third baseman for out number 2, and that'll bring up TJ Bennett. Lewis, you're going to go back to the dugout, and Travis will take your spot here as we go on in the broadcast. But before we depart, I want to talk about the Twins in 2019 and beyond. New manager Rocco Baldelli. I know you had a chance to chat with him, and exciting days ahead, hopefully, for that franchise.
Yeah, it is. Rocco gave me a call, and he just wanted to touch base, and he seems like a really...
Driven to center field. Chester going back, and he has room for out number 3.
Seems like a really good guy, and you know, there's big things coming in that organization, so hopefully we can get some wins and hopefully get in the playoffs.
Lewis Thorpe, thank you for joining us here in the booth, and good luck going forward.
Thank you for having me.
Back after this with more on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
The Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits are well on their way to a victory here tonight at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. 10-2 the score over the Perth Heat as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Tim Atherton has done everything asked of him, aside from one bad pitch made to Tim Kennelly that was deposited over the wall for a 2-run home run. He has been outstanding, and he begins the 6th inning with a pretty good pitch count as well. He will face Tim Kennelly, then Tristan Gray and Pete Kozma, the top third of the Heat lineup here in the 6th inning. And thanks again to Lewis Thorpe for joining us for a couple innings. Interesting to hear his perspective as perhaps the next Aussie to make it to the major leagues. And back for the rest of the way, we hope, is Travis Blackley. Travis, I'm sure that was a loose dugout after the 9-run 3rd inning that you joined.
Yeah, no, it was. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I had to run.
Oh, you're good. Appreciate the hustle.
Yeah, it went a lot quicker than the first couple innings.
Kennelly 1 for 1 with a walk and the aforementioned 2-run home run. The rain has just started as Kennelly sends it on the ground towards second. Fielded by Dutton, he throws to Sutherland for the first out. And just as it starts, it picks up in intensity too. Let's see if we can get a clear picture of what we've got here. And if our cameras can pick it up, that means that it is substantial rain. Not quite coming down in sheets, but coming down pretty heavily with a wind blowing it and in turn blowing the fans under cover. Tristan Gray 0 for 2 with a pair of outfield flies, takes a called strike.
Yeah, the rain, it's pretty thin rain. It's light rain, so even though it looks misty, it's not too bad just yet. But we've seen some heavy droplets in this place over the years, so it could intensify for sure.
Based on our last look at the radar, once it starts, it is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. 0-2 the count. But it is an official ball game. Losing team has to bat 5 times, and the Heat are now batting their 6th time. This would be a nice, easy way for Atherton to earn a complete game, too, if this game ends early. But we're a long way from that happening. 0-2, again, a chance for Dutton at second. This time he boots it, but recovers in time to sling it on to first for the 2nd out. Replay presented by Suki Bowl. And he played that exactly how you're supposed to, even though he did not make the initial play. He kept the ball in front of him and had a chance to recover.
And this actually suits Atho, you know, a guy that throws a lot of fastballs. You know, it shouldn't play around with him a whole lot this rain, but, you know, with Schmidt on the other end of it, throwing a lot of breaking balls, and, you know, there's a little different of torque going into the ball, and that could play a little havoc with that.
Pete Kozma 0 for 2 after a 4-hit game in last night's contest. He sends the first pitch foul. So just to dig a little deeper on that, when you're throwing a fastball, grip it and rip it. But if you need a little bit more finesse on the breaking pitch in terms of the finger placement and how you're releasing the ball, the moisture that comes from rain can potentially disrupt it.
I think it's a little in the mind too. Just, you know, it's slippery, a little wet. You kind of feel like maybe you have to throw it like with a little more torque or something like that, and really you don't. If you just trust it and keep your fingers loose, it should still do what it does. But it's never comfortable knowing you got to make a slider for, you know, a backdoor slider, and you really need a big pitch in that situation. You're probably going to stay with your fastball.
Cosma sends it back, and the count is 0-2.
Especially if, like Atho and a lot of guys around the league that pitch well off their fastball, that have good command of their fastball, it might affect them a slight bit, but it should at least keep them in the zone.
The righty Atherton delivers the 2-strike pitch, and a high fastball is sent back. Cosma tough to strike out. Atherton got him looking in the first. Cosma, a former major leaguer, and not just a marginal major leaguer. I mean, he was a pretty big part of some good teams there for a while.
Yeah, you know, he's handy in the field. You know, that'll always keep you there. And he's no slouch with the bat either, you know. Might not be the biggest home run threat at that level, but...
Hard ground ball gets the better of Shu at third, and it trickles into the corner. Big turnaround first for Cosma, but he will be content with one base on what will either be an error or a hit.
Yeah, I think he just, you know, tried to backhand that, you know, it was kind of at him. Really just stay behind the ball and put your body on that like Dutton did at second. You know, that's an out. Was hit fairly decently, but, you know, nothing that a professional baseballer can't handle.
Just to complete the thought on Cosma, who now stands at first base. Best known for his time with the St. Louis Cardinals, 5 years in the Bigs, and 143 games played in 2013. Also spent time with the Yankees, the Rangers, and last year the Detroit Tigers. Chris Betts early on the first offering, sends it foul into the screen. Suki Bowl replay. It's coming right at us. They do give Cosma a single. That may change at Atherton's suggestion if the run comes around to score. With one more strike here, he can get out of the inning.
No, it's unlikely that he would.
He's not that type.
No, most of us aren't. Just want it made right. Made the right call.
The 0-2. Just missing, low and away. Still no action in the Bandits' pen. That was pitch number 81 for Atherton on the night. And an outstanding ratio. 61 strikes and 20 balls. Breaking ball, got him. Ooh. And the bat snapped over the knee by Chris Betts as the inning comes to a close. The fans like that one, and they like this game so far here in Brisbane. The Bandits are on top by a score of 10-2 as we go to the bottom of the sixth.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Bandits on top 10-2 over the Perth Heat as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. It's been a good night for the Bandits, but a bad night for the Heat. This kind of night for Chris Betts after his third strikeout. That's impressive. I don't know if I can do that.
It really is. You got to commit to that or you're going to hurt. I mean, he's still going to feel that tomorrow, but if you commit to it, I've heard guys talk about it before. If you don't and that bat doesn't break, you're going to be limping around. So
Find yourself on the DL.
Yeah. You got to give it more. Yep, seen that a few times.
Andrew Campbell's had a good game. To be more specific, he's had a good third inning. 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. In the third inning, he came up twice, delivered a pair of singles, one that drove in one, and another that drove in a pair. Daniel Schmidt taking one for the team, still out there, and he delivers a called strike. Schmidt entered to get the final out of that third inning. Pitched very quiet 4th and 5th innings. 2 1/3 in total with 3 unearned runs on the books. Campbell lifts it in the air, routine to right center. Out now in is Chester, and he makes the catch, staring into the rain for the first out.
Yeah, he really hasn't done a whole lot wrong, has he? Schmidt's pitched quite well, you know. Possibly could have come into this game and it could be 4-2 still.
Well, you see what happened after he came in. Nielsen dropped down the bunt, and that should have been the third out. Error was actually charged by the first baseman Bowie, but it was a high throw from the catcher Hall that allowed the inning to continue. Entered in a 5-2 ball game, departed the inning after getting the third out in a 10-2 ball game. 0-1 the count to Donald Lutz, who's 0 for 3. Excuse me, a pinch hitter. This is Liam McDonald making his first Bandits plate appearance. Development player. Oh man, it takes a lot to make me feel old, but Liam McDonald was born in October of 2001.
How do you think I feel?
17 years old.
How do you think I feel?
You're doubling him up.
I was already signed and playing pro ball when he was born.
2-1 the count.
Finished schooling and he wasn't even born yet.
This is the first appearance for Liam McDonald. Had a chance to meet him yesterday before the ball game. Sent back to the screen.
Younger brother of Connor McDonald, who used to play for the Bandits and played for Sydney last year. Some big McDonald boys out there, let me tell you.
Lutz was the DH, so McDonald won't play in the field unless David Nielsen wants him to. McDonald, an infielder by trade. And he swings and misses at the 2-2 offering up in the zone. Second strikeout of the outing for Daniel Schmidt, 2 up, 2 down in the 6th, and we will be seeing more from Liam McDonald in the future. Tough to catch up to this.
The funny thing is that I saw the catcher's hand, the signals, and it looked like it was going to be a slider from that, and even the pitch.
It had some break to it looking at it from the angle.
So it looked like maybe the rain or something kind of slipped, and he saw spin up and thought it was going to be a breaking ball.
Base hit to right center field for Wade Dutton, his third hit of the ball game, and he keeps the 6th inning going for the Bandits. Good to see his bat heating up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, going back to that, you know, that's backup slider, that cement mixer, that works more than it fails, you know, especially if it's up out of the zone and you have a big curveball. As soon as that hitter sees that spin up and they've got to honor that big breaking curveball, then that one stays hard and up, you know, like that. It beats you with pace and has you chasing out of the zone.
Shu Ji Hung is 0 for 1 with a pair of walks and a run scored. He grounded out to first base his last time up. And a breaking ball hits the outside corner.
Yeah, where that pitch won't work, that cement mixer, is when you start it over the middle, lower half of the zone and it never breaks out of the zone. That's when you get hurt on that pitch. But up and out of the zone like that, you'd be shocked how many actually work.
Through the hole on the right side, a base hit for Shu Ji Hung. Checking in at second is Wade Dutton, and the Bandits have put together a pair of 2-out singles to put together a threat in the 6th.
I don't know what the stats would say on this, but I don't think I've ever seen us score 10 runs without leaving the yard.
That's a good point. A very different look from the Bandits, and some defensive miscues from the Heat have not helped. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Heat, 10 runs on 7 hits for the Bandits. Perth has committed 2 errors, both of them coming in the 9-run third inning. David Sutherland is 1 for 2. with a single and a pair of runs batted in. Also had a sacrifice fly. And he takes up high ball 1 in the lefty-lefty matchup.
Still quite a bit of game to go, though. You never know. We might sneak one out.
Never know. Anyone can do it.
Yeah. Especially with the way it was blowing pretty hard. It's definitely dropped. The wind's dropped quite a bit from the start of the game, but it's impressive that there's only been 1 home run.
And it was hit by the Heat.
Yeah. On a very good pitch, too. Just a great piece of hitting by Kennelly.
0-1. Home run power just early.
Figure if I threw it out there, maybe we'd hit one.
Count is 1-1.
Yeah, it's 1-1, not 0-2.
Again, our Hailstorm production folks have the scoreboard graphic more accurate than our in-stadium. Sutherland chops it to first. Bowie fields and takes it to the base himself to retire Sutherland and the Bandits in the 6th inning. A pair of 2-out singles do not harm the Heat, but they still trail by 8. It's 10-2 Brisbane as we go to the 7th inning on Bandits.tv.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
The rain continues to fall in Brisbane. And in between innings, the umpire crew and the grounds crew taking a look at the radar. We're giving you a look at the radar. You can see that it's going to stick around for a while, with the worst yet to come. This is an official ball game, and the Bandits, with a comfortable lead, send Tim Atherton back out there to begin his 7th inning of work. Travis Blackley and Eric Bramer with you in the broadcast booth, staying nice and dry, as the fans get a nice soak on this Friday evening. 2 games scheduled for tomorrow, weather permitting, of course. But we feel optimistic that there is a window for these 2 teams to play the twin bill and end round 5 without any games in the deficit. This is the only time these 2 teams meet in the regular season. As a result, it would be difficult to make up any games. We hope it doesn't come to that. Robbie Glendinning leads off the 7th inning for the Heat. He's 0 for 2. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Perth. Glendinning, Chester, and Hall. And now we're getting into the point in the game, as we saw with the Bandits, where you may be making some substitutions to get other players in. Bandits have the development players at their disposal. The Heat do not. And a first pitch misses up and away, ball 1 to Glendinning. 1-0, a swinging strike.
Atho still looks strong out there. It was a good fastball still.
84 pitches, 63 for strikes. Trying to remain undefeated on the year, looking to improve to 3-0. ERA actually has gone up a tick with 2 earned runs in 6 innings. Entered at 2.45, now it's at 2.57, but this is a tremendous outing given the circumstances. He's not done yet. The 2-1. Hit hard down the right field line, but twisting foul, it lands out of play.
Good call.
Another reminder that tomorrow's doubleheader is scheduled to be broadcast on abltv.com. This will be the last Bandits.TV broadcast of 2018. We will be back for round 8 against Auckland on the 3rd and 4th of January. Hard to believe, but after tonight, the Bandits will be done with half of their home schedule. The 2-2 pitch. Missing high, and the count runs full. Atherton has walked a couple batters, but none since the 3rd inning. That's about when the game got out of hand, and he has been pumping the zone with strikes, making sure this game goes along as quickly and efficiently as possible. Payoff pitch coming to Glendinning. Driven in the air, deep towards center field. Campbell turns, and it is gone. Way out of here for Robbie Glendinning. His 2nd home run of the round. His 5th run batted in of the series. And the game is now 10-3.
Yeah, you know, got to that 3-2 count, up by 8 as a hitter. You're not looking for anything else but a fastball, and he got one to handle. Put a good swing on it, and that was well hit.
Home run number 2 on the entire season for Glendinning.
He only played last week, was his first week, I'm pretty sure.
He's entered the scene with a flourish. Carl Chester stands in.
He's a good young player. You know, I got to see him for the first time last year, but also on the trip to Japan with the Australian team. And for a rookie on that team, he did very, very well. And I expect to see him playing a lot of games in the green and gold in the future.
Oh, 1 cracked in the air to left field. Mitch Ellis now out there in place of Daniel Nielsen, and the wind pushes it towards the gap, but Ellis goes with it and makes the catch for the first out. On the topic of good young players coming out of Australia, how about Lewis Thorpe? Introduced him to our viewers here in the last couple innings, and I know you've gotten to know him, mentor him a little bit as he tries to break through in the big leagues. He's at AAA now, so he is 1 call away.
He's right on the doorstep. You know, I mean, I've known Lewis since he was a youngster, since he was a teenager. We both grew up in Melbourne, and back when I played with the Melbourne Aces, he was on the development squad with those guys and got to see him there. I've even faced him before, back in his youth when he threw hard but had no clue where it was going, and he walked me. Always hold that over his head. But, no, you know, he had a very similar year to a year I had back in 2003, and you know, just he's really kind of followed. Very similar style pitcher. Has a little better fastball than I did as a youngster, but he's also a little bigger than I am. But yeah, just a good kid. He's got a lot of potential, and you know, this year alone, I mean, his walk rate was very low. His strikeout rate was very high, and he didn't give up home runs. And you know, that is pretty much the 3 statistics they look for these days when it comes to, you know, finding out a player's worth. And, you know, well, it goes towards your WAR, you know, and a lot of people don't understand that stat. I barely understand it. But, you know, very valuable to the Twins. You know, obviously they're going to look at him as being a future piece of their system and their big league club, but, you know, you can never rule out a trade. You know, there'll be a lot of teams, you know, frothing to have him in their squad. And the future looks very bright for him.
1-2 fouled out of the mid of the catcher, Battaglia. This is Alex Hall at the plate. Hall 0 for 2 with a pair of grounders to short, one of which turned into a double play.
Anytime you're left-handed and you're throwing in the low 90s, you know, with the potential to get better, you know, he's still young. You know, you're going to be valuable, and putting up the results he did at 2 different levels this year and pitching in the Futures game, which eerily he had the same kind of result I did after such a strong year. He told me he gave up 2 home runs in that game. I personally came in and gave up a home run in my one when I played in it. And I think we both even took the loss in the game. But, no, it's kind of eerie when you look back at the numbers on that year, and we were so very close, and we're from the same area. It's just, it's good to see him succeeding anyway. I look forward to seeing his future pan out.
Hall swings and misses. That is strikeout number 8 on the night for Tim Atherton. Another Skyfleet Hino strikeout, and out number 2 in the 7th inning.
And that was a fantastic cutter right there, you know, late in the game to really get out on your front foot and really execute that pitch down and in. That's a big pitch right there for Atho and getting that second out.
Another look at the Suki Bowl replay, and you can see that cutting action down and in, not just lateral, but some sink to it as well.
Yeah. And that's just, yeah, you know, when you get late in the game, you've thrown a lot of pitches, that's one you've really got to think, I've got to get my arm out in front of my body and get out there. And like earlier in the inning, he tried to throw a pitch similar to that in the 2-2 count, missed it up above the zone, sending him to a 3-2 count, where then he had to come back with the fastball. But he's done well, you know, and anything can happen, as I said, and a leadoff home run in the 7th and being able to turn around and sit the next 2 guys down, it's, you know, obviously a big, big inning for him.
Jake Bowie drives it in the air towards center. Another look for Campbell towards the wall, and it's gone. 2 home runs in the 7th inning for the Heat, 1 from Glendinning and now 1 from Bowie, and it's 10-4.
And again, like that was a pretty good pitch down the zone, you know, and I dare say not getting out of any other ballpark in the league. He hit it pretty good and more than likely going to short hop a wall in, say, Sydney or Canberra, but
that's below the knees.
Yeah, it's a good pitch, but, you know, you just got to barrel it in the air here and let the ball do the rest.
Only 370 feet to dead center, and that's the official measurement.
Plays a little less even. You know, when you
There
average.
are there conspiracy theorists out there.
That was an angry fastball there. Yeah, he's a competitor. No one likes giving up home runs, especially when, you know, you're out there just trying to pound the zone and, you know, a guy gets you one. But he's done well, you know, in between the strikeouts. He kept the other guys off base, and, you know, 2 solo home runs is not affecting the scoreline like a, you know, couple of walks would.
Jess Williams dumps a base hit down the left field line, and he's digging for second. The throw not in time from Ellis, and a 2-out double from the 9th place batter for the Heat. And some action stirring in the Bandits' pen.
That's just unfortunate too, you know. He just made another good pitch, cut her in on the hands, and, you know, those kind of hitters, they're frustrating, you know. Lefties that inside out the ball, you know, an inch lower, he jams up, breaks the bat off to shortstop or third base. Instead, he gets a little, you know, what we call a little duck fart, you know, double. And, you know, good piece of hitting. He used what he does best, and, you know, it's frustrating though as a pitcher.
Frustrating end to a great night for Atherton. He departs in favor of Justin Erasmus. More on the Bandits righty when we come back.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
First call to the bullpen, and the first Alderley higher pitching change for David Nielsen and the Bandits brings Justin Erasmus into the ballgame. Bandits still on top 10-4, but 2 runs and an extra base hit here in the 7th inning for the Heat has brought the righty in. Erasmus, 28 years old, out of Johannesburg, South Africa. 1-0 on the year with an even 4 for his earned run average. This will be appearance number 8, all of them in relief. He pitched in last night's ball game, a scoreless inning, allowing a hit and striking out 1. That was the 6th inning last night. And here he will be asked to get the final out of the 7th inning and maybe more. At the top of the order, Tim Kennelly at the plate. Jess Williams at second after the bloop double. And the first pitch misses low and away, ball 1.
Delete that last comment, sorry.
Yeah, Atho really threw the ball well, you know. The line just doesn't reflect the game that he threw. And that's honestly often the case here in Brisbane.
And the line not set in stone either.
No.
6 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs for now with 2 walks and 8 strikeouts, but he is responsible for Williams at second base. 2-0 now the count to Kennelly, who is 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer in the third and a walk. He pops it up.
That was a good
Right
pitch.
side foul territory. First baseman Sutherland loses track of it and it drops. New life for Kennelly. Wind blowing out to right field again, and that's a tough play for Sutherland. If the second baseman or the right fielder can get it, they'll take charge because they've got a much easier angle on it.
And that was second base's ball. I wasn't watching him where he was. But yeah, that's a catch that you'd expect to be made. It looks like he's playing a little bit more up the center.
Righty at the plate, he's responsible for keeping the runner close.
So he had a good 90 feet to run to get to that ball. So you can't put it on Dutto right there. That was, I'm sure he was on hustling for that.
The count is 2-1.
It was a great 2-0 pitch, though. You know, you can give in. He went and made his pitch.
Kennelly takes in the dirt. It's blocked by Battaglia. 3-1 the count with first base open. Tristan Gray on deck. Perth has scored by a wide margin, the most runs in the league. And they trail by 6 with 7 outs to get. In this ballpark, you never know.
You never know.
The 3-1. High and tight, and it's ball 4.
It's not the worst result, you know. You got a base open with a hitter of that caliber at the plate. You know, you obviously don't want to bring a lefty up, and you don't want to bring put another runner on base. But you know, in that situation there, if you can keep it down, get yourself a ground ball. Now you've got to force out.
Here's Tristan Gray, 0 for 3 with a pair of outfield flies and a grounder to second. Even though he's 0 for 3, Gray's batting average still at .318. 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. He takes the first pitch, low and away, ball 1. If Erasmus wasn't coming off of a walk, that's a call he may get.
Yeah, you know, we've seen that pitch called tonight.
Steady rain still falling. The 1-0. Hit down the right field line, fair into the corner. Rounding third and coming home is Williams. Kennelly right behind him. He'll get the wave. The throw from Dutton to the plate is not in time. And it is a 2-run double for Tristan Gray. The Heat have scored 4 here in the 7th inning. And it's suddenly a 10-6 ball game.
That's, you know, just good piece of hitting right there, you know, managed to keep it fair, and it just goes back to that pop-up now, you know, the pop-up in foul ground that, you know, I mean, was not an easy catch at all by any means, but it's one that you got to have in a game, especially against the Heat in a field like this, in these conditions.
Gray brings home RBIs 18 and 19 on the year with his 6th double. And that closes the book on Atherton. You're exactly right. The line won't look as good as it should be. 5 runs in 6 2/3. Pete Kozma at the plate. 1 for 3 today after a 4 for 5 night last night. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Nice pitch right there.
Called strike, and it's 0-2.
And that's huge. I mean, when Justin's throwing the ball really well and he's throwing that curveball for strikes, that makes everything else he has that much better. And in the rain, to flip one in like that was a big pitch. Puts him now in the hole 0-2. He has pretty much he can go to anything right here. He's just got to make sure he delivers with a good accuracy and not making any mistakes.
The 0-2. Breaking pitch, and Kozma held up. The Bandits, though they are the home team and the leading team, have no say in whether or when play is halted due to the weather. That decision will always be made by the umpiring crew. The 1-2. Foul tip into the mitt, and Erasmus strikes out Kozma to end the 7th inning. But the Heat get back in this ball game, scoring 4 on a pair of homers and a 2-run double from Tristan Gray. Stretch time in Brisbane. Bandits still lead it 10-6.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
The Bandits lead the Perth Heat 10-6 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Travis Blackley and Eric Bramer with you for what was once a comfortable Bandits lead and is now just a 4-run advantage. Travis, the Bandits just have not been able to solve the lefty Daniel Schmidt, who doesn't throw hard, but he has a lot of different looks, and he's kept the Bandits off balance.
Yeah, he has. You know, he's kind of a veteran now in this league. You know, he's pitched a lot of time. He knows a lot of the Aussie guys. And the import guys aren't used to seeing, you know, a guy like this.
Ellis, first pitch swinging, lines a base hit up the middle. Mitch Ellis entered as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning, grounded to short. This time sneaks it past the shortstop on a line drive. And the Bandits lead off the 7th with a base hit.
Yeah, once again, Mitchie doing something. You know, every game I feel he's played, he's done something, you know. Got a base hit when we needed it, or, you know, hit a home run even in the first series. Looks like he pulled up a little lame, like he may have slipped on the base when he ran over it or something.
Suki Bowl replay, he was coming up lame before he even arrived, and it looks like a hamstring. We don't want to speculate too much, but quad?
Well, he tried to stretch his quad after it, so a hamstring you wouldn't be pulling around like that.
Right. Well, another man off the Brisbane development roster. This is Tyson Zamora. With the rain really coming down now. You can hear it on our crowd mic.
Yeah, they're not far from canning this, I don't think.
Ryan Battaglia sends the first pitch foul.
Yeah, going back to Smitty though, he's kept us really. Oh, there they go. They've called it off.
Umpires coming off, and the players are coming off. We will get the field covered up and hope for the best. But this game is official. David Nielsen not happy that they are pausing this ball game. Again, this doesn't mean the game is over.
No, I think he's upset because this actually hurts us. You know, with Schmidt pitching the way he has and saving their bullpen, they have multiple options to go to. And although we've only used 2, we'd like to keep Bobby out there by the look of it. And by having to take, you know, this, if we have a long sit right now, we're going to end up having to change the pitcher.
Paul Latta, the home plate umpire, has been called upon by first base umpire James Shields to continue the conversation with Dingo. Maybe not the best time to wish him a happy birthday, but since we were talking about him, David Nielsen celebrating his birthday today, hoping that he can get a Bandits victory as a final birthday present. Well, we are going to be out of action for at least a little while as home plate and the mound are covered up by the tarp. As you can see, the rain is continuing to come down, and as it increases in intensity, the umpires make the decision to suspend play. This is a rain delay, and we will let you know as soon as we find out what the fate of this ball game is. If we cannot restart, it is an official ball game, and it will be a Bandits victory, 10-6 in 7 innings. Ryan Battaglia at the plate in an 0-1 count. Tyson Zamora at first base, pinch running for Mitch Ellis, who injured himself running down the first base line. And that is why, Travis, you delay the ball game. You don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't want anyone to get hurt, but I mean, it's been raining pretty steady like this for a few innings. It looks a little heavier at the moment, but I think mainly what he might have been concerned about was the change in pitching situation.
Sounds like we are expecting a 30-minute delay looking at the radar, so we are going to pause the stream and go off the air until we have more to report to you. Keep the window open wherever you're watching. Thank you for sticking with us tonight, and we will keep you updated as soon as we learn more about the fate of this ball game. 10-6, Bandits on top of the Heat in the 7th inning in Brisbane. You're watching Bandits.tv.
see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
Minutes after our rain delay began, we welcome you back to Bandits.tv. Brisbane on top of Perth 10-6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. With a runner at first base and no outs, Ryan Battaglia at the plate in an 0-1 count. The most surprising aspect in all this, Daniel Schmidt still out there, the long reliever and the lefty for the Heat. We'll try and get out of this 7th inning. The Heat scored 4 in the top half of the 7th inning to make this a ball game. The Bandits scored 9 in the 3rd to break this game open. Well done by the umpiring crew and the grounds crew here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus, to get us back on the field. Ryan Battaglia takes on the inside corner, a called strike. Tyson Zamora is the runner at first. He's substituted in as a pinch runner for Mitch Ellis, who came up lame after his leadoff single to start the 7th inning. Battaglia swings and misses at a breaking pitch low and in. Strikeout victim for out number 1. Travis Blackley and Eric Bramer with you for this broadcast. Bandits looking to even up their round 5 series at a game apiece. Travis, looking at the radar, we know more is coming, but it's not raining right now. It hasn't rained for about 15-20 minutes, and this is the right call to get back and get as much ball game in as possible.
Yeah, you're right there. Should have kept playing. I feel like it never really got heavier, so it's kind of a you know, break in play. You know, anything can happen. You know, it's just one of those things where the guys really got to stay vigilant here and see if they can make something happen.
Unroe chops it on the ground left side and smothered by Gray, but that's all he can do, preventing it from going into the outfield. Should be an infield single for Riley Unroe, his first base hit and his 3rd time on base.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough play either way. I mean, just to keep it in front, you know, I don't think he had a play at second, and definitely didn't have a play on Unroe at running up the line. And little Tyson Zamora's got quite a bit of speed, so yeah, we've probably got our 2 fastest guys out there right now.
Zamora presumably will take over in left field for Ellis, who was a pinch hitting substitution himself for Daniel Nielsen. 3rd different batter in the 8th spot of the lineup. TJ Bennett early sends it into his dugout, and almost a nice bare hand pickup made.
Yeah, look like Kurt getting some airtime.
Yeah, good for Kurt. Ouch, he didn't get it.
No, he dropped it, and I'm sure they're giving it to him for not keeping it on the first go.
TJ Bennett hitless, but he's reached base twice. 0 for 2 with a pair of flies to center. A walk and a hit by pitch. Sends it back, and it's 0-2.
I think Schmidt got away with one there. That was definitely a curveball that I think TJ looked like he was sitting on it, and he got it and just missed it. Just fouled it back.
64 pitches already for Daniel Schmidt. 46 of them for strikes. He's gone longer than Lowry did and thrown almost as many pitches. Connor Lowry, the starter, entered with an outstanding ERA, but was roughed up in that 3rd inning. Didn't make it out of the 3rd. 2 2/3, 4 hits, and 5 runs. 5 earned runs, 7 runs total. Bennett takes low and in.
Looked like he took a page out of my book there with the changeup on lefty-lefty. Not a pitch you see very often. Dangerous.
For a reason, yeah.
It's dangerous pitch. Well, it's misconceived, I think. You know, it's a pitch that a left-handed hitter is not going to look for. And if you have a good changeup versus a righty, it'll play against a lefty. It's just you got to have the faith that it's going to do what it does down and in.
1-2, chopped on the ground towards third with some side spin. They get the runner at second on the force out as Unruh is retired. Reaching on the fielder's choice is Bennett. And if that ball were hit more squarely, it may be an inning-ending double play, but you could see kind of a funky hop there as it approached Glendinning. He got the out at second, but no chance to get the speedy Bennett.
Yeah, you know, he made sure of that first out, well, the second out, but the first out of the play, and, you know, that's all you can ask for in that situation. You know, every out that you take away from the team is huge, and especially now when you're trailing by 4.
Zamora advances to third. Runners at the corners with 2 down for Andrew Campbell. Campbell 2 for 4. Both of his hits were productive hits in the third inning. Pair of singles driving in 3 runs in total. Campbell sends it back, and it's 0-1. I think the best left-handed changeup that I have ever seen in person came from Johan Santana, who won 2 Cy Young Award honors in a 3-year span and probably should have won a 3rd. He had no problems throwing that to left-handed batters. When it's as good as he had it, and yours is pretty good too, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he definitely did. That's worked out beautifully for him.
0-1 high hopper to second, Cosma to Bowie, and the Bandits strand a pair in the 7th inning after the 32-minute rain delay. We go to the 8th. Bandits trying to finish this one off. They lead it 10-6.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Ryan Bollinger enters the ballgame for the Bandits in an Alderley higher pitching change. Bollinger, the tough lefty, has picked up a save, his first in many years with the Bandits. And with the bullpen in flux, he may be asked to go the rest of the way. You see the numbers very good. An ERA of 2 in 9 innings, 8 hits, and 12 strikeouts with no walks for the lefty, who is now property of the San Diego Padres organization. Bandits on top 10-6, and there's Tyson Zamora, the development player who entered as a pinch runner in the bottom of the 7th, warming up in left field where he will play, presumably, the remainder of the ball game.
I bet his heart's thumping. He had an opportunity earlier in the year, and he's a good little player, and he got one of those awkward high pop-ups down in no man's land near the line, and he overran it, kind of like ran a little too far under it and missed it, and it kind of popped out of his glove, and he felt bad. And I just said to him, you know what, buddy, that's the scariest play you're going to have at this level. You know, and since then, being around the boys, he's really settled in. He's a great kid to have around. He's always asking questions. And, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Zamora, 18 years old, out of Brisbane. And that's the great thing about the ABL. You get Major League veterans like Pete Cosma, like Travis Blackley, on the same field as young players hoping to make their mark in the game. Chris Betts, the cleanup batter, leads off for the Heat, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. After his 3rd punch-out to end the 6th inning, he snapped his bat over his knee. And now in a lefty-lefty matchup, he has a tall task ahead of him. The 0-1. bounced in the dirt. Justin Erasmus's day is done. He went a third of an inning, allowing 1 hit, a 2-run double. 1 run charged to him, an inherited runner scored, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. 1-1, tapped weakly up the first base line, but some spin sends it foul. The count will be 1-2. Bollinger getting his first in-game appearance since last Sunday's finale in Canberra. That was a game that saw the Bandits allow 7 unanswered runs to the Cavalry, turning a 9-0 advantage into a very, very anxious 9th inning. 9-7 was the final. Bollinger picked up the save, his first in any setting since 2013 in the Sally League, South Atlantic League, in between rookie ball and the A level. Driven in the air to left center field. This ball is back and high off the very top of the wall. Picked up by Campbell. The throw into second. Skips by the second baseman, Dutton. That is not the way that Bollinger wanted to start his outing.
No, that one, he just left that one up in the zone, especially with a guy struggling, today with 3 strikeouts. I'm surprised he went with the fastball. He's got a good one. We know that. He throws it in the mid to upper 90s at times. But anytime you can just shorten your swing with 2 strikes, a fastball up in the zone is probably as easy a pitch as he's going to get to handle. And he just put the bat on it. And it almost got out based strictly on his velocity and barreling it.
Robbie Glendinning hit a solo home run to center field his last time up. He's 1 for 3 in total. Bollinger's first misses low ball 1. The Bandits have not done anything offensively since the 9-run 3rd inning, and the Heat have all the momentum, scoring 4 in the 7th and getting a man in scoring position with a double to start the 8th. For Bollinger, the objective is clear. 6 more outs to get the victory.
That was good fastball right there. Hitting count. Got his fastball he was after and just right by the bat.
1-1 the count.
He's tough on everyone, man. He's got some really good stuff, and that's why he got his call up this year with the Yankees.
1-1 misses low and in. Bollinger called up to the Yankees, did not get in a game, but got a couple days on the major league paycheck, and the hope is that with the Padres in rebuild mode, they will have room on the roster for a hard-throwing left-handed reliever who can also be stretched out into a starter.
Yeah, that's I couldn't imagine what that would be like. It's one thing to get your call up, and then to just be there and not get that opportunity, that must sit on him a little bit. He's going to have to earn a spot in spring training, and if he happens to start in AAA, then he'll be trying to pitch his way back up there. But you never want to get to the end of your career and be sitting on that call up. And I know someone like that who's been called up twice and never got in. And you earned the call up but never got the opportunity, and that I hope he gets another opportunity, because he definitely has the stuff to pitch at that level.
Professionals in any profession, athletic or not, are looking for motivation, and for Bollinger, a reason to stay hungry here, as he just missed a called strike 3. The count runs full. 3-2 with first base open and Carl Chester waiting on deck. Payoff pitch is ripped foul down the right field line, out of play. For the Bandits, 10 runs on 10 hits. For the Heat, 6 runs on 8 hits. Another 3-2. Called strike 3.
That was a strike. They're not happy about it, but that definitely came back over the plate. I think he was so fooled by that curveball in a 3-2 count that he gave up on that immediately out of the hand. But, I mean, if viewers watching at home, watch this pitch. This comes right back to Buff's chin. Boom and woo, right there, belt high.
Close enough.
I think close enough, but I also think he might have missed that 2-2 pitch, and that might have been one of those, borderline pitches he equalised with right there. Because, that's a big situation and not call that 2-2 strike, and, that can swing the game. And that's frustrating. I know the umpires are out there trying to do their best, and, someone throwing as firm as Ryan Bollinger, it's like split second to make that decision. And, I think on review he probably thought he might have missed that one and gave the borderline one next pitch.
Carl Chester 1 for 3 with a single and a pair of flyouts. Nobody throwing in the Bandits' pen, but Matt Timms is standing. That doesn't mean he's going to get in the ball game, but you know in his mind he wants to get back out there and put yesterday's bad 9th inning behind him.
Yeah, definitely. He's a gamer. He'll take the ball whenever you give it to him. And, that's very uncharacteristic of last night's game. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him allow more than one home run, and normally they're weeks apart. To have them happen in the same inning, so he's definitely going to want to get back out there and brush that one off.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Bollinger showing that potential with his left hand. Another devastating breaking ball that fools Chester. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff double. Skyfleet, Hino strikeout.
That one actually might have been the slider. He's been working on that. That's a pitch he had last year that made him so dominant. A guy that threw in the mid-upper 90s that, when you had to cheat on a fastball and you saw that hard, arm speed coming at you, and then all of a sudden it fell off the table. The curveball has a little more of a loop to it, and it's probably a good 4 to 5 mile an hour slower, but you can see why he's very tough. Probably more so on righties, I would imagine, believe it or not.
Alex Hall stands in, batting righty against the left-handed throwing Bollinger. Fouled back, and it's 0-2.
That was a pretty good aggressive swing by Hall right there. The plus about throwing in the mid-upper 90s is you don't have to be perfect. Someone more so in the upper 80s to 90 has to, can't afford those mistakes up in the zone. But someone like Bollinger who just lets it eat, he can get away with those and foul balls and swing and misses.
The 0-2 coming. Got him. Ryan Bollinger strikes out the side in a scoreless 8th inning and strands the leadoff double. That was about as dominant as you can be on the mound. Bandits take a 10-6 lead over Perth to the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll be back after this.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there, and you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
An Alderley higher pitching change for the Perth Heat. We've got 2 number 36s on their roster, but this is the right-handed one. Josh Rawlinson coming on in relief of Daniel Schmidt, who did an outstanding job in relief. Connor Lowry only lasted 2 2/3. They actually got more innings out of Schmidt than they did their starting pitcher.
It's not fun being the starter in that situation when a guy comes in and does that, but on the other end, if you've been a reliever before, like I've had to do that before and come in after a poor start, And when you're able to hold the team where they are and give your team a chance, and you've really done your job. And it's hard. As a long reliever, it's hard to stand out in your team. And I think that effort tonight has really given the Perth Heat a chance in this game.
Schmidt with 4 1/3 innings of 6 hit ball. He allowed 3 runs, though none of them were earned. He walked 1 and struck out 3. Rawlinson will face Liam McDonald, who pinch hit for Donald Lutz back in the 6th inning. In the cleanup spot, swinging strike 1. McDonald, Dutton, and Shu do up 4, 5, and 6 for the Bandits in what they hope will be their last time at bat. McDonald in his first ABL at bat struck out swinging, and he's behind here 0-2.
Yeah, you see a different arm angle there. Noticed it when he was warming up that he throws over the top and drops down to the side. That was meant to be a slider on the outside corner, and it backed up on him and worked out. Kind of going back to what I said about the cement mixing slider that doesn't do anything up in the zone. That's the same kind of thing with that pitch there.
Chopped right side.
That's
It's
trouble.
going to be a tough play, and the first baseman, Bowie, flips to Rawlinson covering. Rawlinson just a half step late, but luckily for him, he was able to get there and beat McDonald to the base for the first out. Rawlinson, a young pup too, 20 years old. This will be his 3rd appearance for the Heat in his first year in the ABL. 2 hitless innings with just 1 walk allowed. Wade Dutton's had a nice night, 3 for 4 with a single, 2 singles, a double, 2 runs batted in, and 2 runs scored. The doubles was ripped into the left field corner as part of the 9-run 3rd inning. Just missing the corner, and it's 1-1.
I like this kid from that arm angle. I think it's almost useless to throw over the top as a reliever when you're coming in and you've got the command with your fastball from down there.
Average height, 183 centimeters. Slings it from the low 3/4 arm slot.
I think the only way it'll work if you're over the top is if you had a breaking ball over the top. If you only throw your fastball over the top and everything else from the side, even if you have a fastball from the side, they're going to sit fastball as soon as they see you staying upright. Easier said than done, as there's not much time to make that thought process equate to hitting it. But
called strike, it's 2-2.
Kind of in between there, you know, not low, not high, but low 3/4. So interesting. First time we're seeing him, and he seems to be able to throw strikes from all 3 slots.
2-2. Dutton's early as he fights off the pitch and sends it foul up the line. No action in the Bandits' pen. No reason for any action. Ryan Bollinger looked pretty good in his 8th inning, striking out the side after a leadoff double. Bollinger may be the new closer for this team, with Luke Van Meel out of commission, at least temporarily. 2-2, a soft line drive right to the 3rd baseman, Glendinning. Dutton denied in his bid for a 4th hit as we take a look at the Suki Bowl replay. Bad spot to hit it to.
Yeah, that was right down his throat. I mean, good pitch. You know, not a whole lot he could do with it. If anything, he probably had more chance hitting that one out over second base. But old Dutto, he's not afraid to pull an outside pitch and keep it fair and hit gaps with it. He's an interesting character to pitch against.
Shu Ji-hung has reached base 3 times, twice with a walk and most recently with a single. He lifts the first pitch foul out of play. Against Bollinger in the top of the 9th inning, it'll be 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Heat. Intriguingly, the first 2 batters due up are left-handed against the lefty Bollinger. Called strike, and it's 0-2.
And there he goes. He features a breaking ball over the top. So, you know, interesting guy that can throw all of his different pitches from all different arm slots. It's got to make it hard to sit on a particular pitch.
The 0-2. Oh, Shu lifts it in the air, shallow right field. Kennelly has it. And he makes the catch, though he staggers, and it's a 1-2-3 8th inning for Josh Rawlinson. The Bandits will try and finish off a victory here on Friday night in Brisbane. They lead at 10-6 over Perth as we go to the 9th inning.
It's always been us.
Ryan Bollinger is back out there to try and finish off this victory for the Bandits. He entered in a 4-run ball game to start the 8th inning, so this is not a save situation. And he hopes that he can take care of it himself and not leave a save situation for anyone else in the Bandits' pen. Bollinger allowed a double off the very top of the wall in left center off the bat of Chris Betts to begin his outing. But after that, a strikeout looking of Robbie Glendinning and 2 strikeouts swinging of Carl Chester and Alex Hall. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Heat, beginning with Jake Bowie, the left-handed hitting first baseman, who hit a solo home run his last time up off of Tim Atherton. Bowie, Williams, and Kennelly, with the Heat needing base runners as they look to avoid outs. First pitch swinging is Bowie off the end of the bat. It's rolled foul up the third base line. If the Bandits hold on for the win, it will be because of their 9-run third inning in which they collected only 4 hits and benefited from a pair of Heat errors, and the solid start from Tim Atherton, who went 6 2/3, ultimately allowing 5 runs, but a few of them came at the tail end of his outing. Called strike. Bollinger really cruising now. He's ahead 0-2. The lefty delivers. Popped up, third base side, foul territory. Shu has room, and he makes the catch. Out number 1.
Good pitching right there, you know, got ahead with the first pitch on the outside corner, then he went right back to another fastball. I think Jake might have been looking for something breaking in that count. Didn't see it then, and then, you know, he painted one maybe even off the plate, but Bowie, after taking 2 out there, had to react to that one and wasn't able to put an offensive swing on it.
With left-handed hitting Jess Williams due up, Heat manager Andy Kyle goes to a pinch hitter, Adam Korcha, who swings at the first pitch, and he pops it up. This one behind home plate. Battaglia has almost enough room. That literally hit the cement on the back end of the backstop net. Suki Bowl replay.
Yeah, another overlooked part of this ballpark is just how small the foul territory is. You know, causing a lot more higher batting averages. You know, those balls are getting into the first row, second row that on most fields are still in play.
Korcha made an outstanding diving catch in left field last night after entering as a pinch hitter late in the ball game. That diving catch ended the game as the Bandits, like Perth is trying to do tonight, tried to come back from a 4-run deficit. 1-1, missing low and in.
That's why they say it's so hard to hit in Oakland. All of those.
A lot of foul
territory. And, you know, the actual field, it does play quite well for a pitcher, but the home runs come there. You still get plenty of home runs. It's just the foul ground.
2-1 driven in the air, deep left field. Long run for Zamora off the wall, and Zamora bangs off the wall himself. A long carom sends it back out into left field. And in the interest of out avoidance, Adam Korcha will be content with a ringing double off the wall.
I didn't actually catch the pitch, but he put a good swing on it. Might have caught him a little high on the barrel, because normally a pitch on that, you know, ball off the bat with that trajectory normally would get out of the ballpark here. But either way, he's definitely kept the hopes alive of the Perth Heat.
Lineup turns over for the Heat with Tim Kennelly standing in. 1 for 2 is Kennelly. He swings the first pitch and lines a base hit to left field. Rounding third and coming home is Korcha. It's an RBI single for Tim Kennelly, and the Heat are still alive. 1 run here in the 9th inning, and it's a 3-run ball game.
That was either smart or very, very silly base running on the part of Korcha right there. He took off on contact, and that ball only just cleared TJ Bennett. That was game over had he come down with that ball. not what you want to do, and he luckily got away with that one right there. I don't know if he just assumed that was getting out, but I tell you, you got to freeze on that pitch. You got to freeze on that line drive, and got away with that one.
Bandits have had to go down to the wire in every single one of their ball games over the last few rounds, and tonight is no exception. This would now be a save situation with the tying run on deck, but nobody is warming in the bullpen. This is Ryan Bollinger's inning. He has 2 outs to get. Tristan Gray hit a 2-run double his last time up, and he is behind in the count 0-2. After Gray, it's Pete Kozma. You don't want to face him representing the tying run.
No, not at all. Yeah, definitely, though, that was an incredible pitch right there. That one really broke across the face of the zone. And you just
swing and a miss, strike 3.
You just can't catch up. He didn't see the fastball till 0-2, and he got one of Ryan's best at the top of the zone. And right after that big breaking curveball, you see a ball just above the zone like this, you have to protect it, because if it's another curveball, you're walking back. In the end, he was walking back anyway because it was just too good.
Strikeout number 4 for Bollinger in an inning and 2/3, and the Heat are down to their final out. Here's Pete Kozma. Kozma 1 for 4 tonight, 5 for 9 in the series. Hit in the air, high and deep to right center field, but in the ballpark. Campbell makes the catch, and the Bandits even up the series on a soggy night in Brisbane. 10-7 the final over the Heat. Tim Atherton gets the win with 6 2/3 innings of solid ball in the start. Connor Lowry gets the loss. No save, though Bollinger gets the final 6 outs, 4 of them via the strikeout. The big moment, well, it was a series of moments for the Bandits. A 9-run 3rd inning with only 4 hits, most of the runs coming with 2 outs. As the Bandits built up a lead, the Heat could not come back from. Totals on the board are correct. 7 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors for the Heat. 10 runs on 10 hits, no errors for the Bandits. Brisbane back in sole possession of first place, at least for now, pending the results around the league. And they will play a doubleheader tomorrow, weather permitting, against the Heat with first pitches at 2:30 and 6 o'clock. We will not be doing those games. ABLTV.com will be broadcasting, and you will be in the capable hands of Paul Gonzalez and Andrew Reynolds for those games. For Travis Blackley and Lewis Thorpe, who joined us for a couple innings on the broadcast, I am Eric Bramer, thanking you for watching us and thanking the Hailstorm production crew for staying dry in this weather. Thank you again for watching, and catch us tomorrow for the doubleheader against the Heat.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer! Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.